Anyway, why are we listening to Celeste soundtrack? We're doing a thing. So this stream is a tier maker stream technically. But more importantly, it's a stream reminiscing over, like how loud the Celeste soundtrack is. I've been doing this for over a year now. I've been on the interweb for a long time, but I just now started doing like streaming. Like in the past year, almost a year and a half, I guess technically. I started September of 2020. So these are all the games that I streamed in 2020 and 2021. Yeah. They happen to be in alphabetical order here. We're gonna rank them S through F, and I'm gonna talk about... I'm ranking the games, not the stream experience. But, yeah. And you'll notice there are some fan games and some other shit, and you might also notice, maybe, I doubt it, but some of you might notice that a few of them are missing. I'm gonna... Hang on, let me check to make sure that this thing I'm gonna pull up is not, it doesn't have any information that will fuck anybody up to see. Let me check real quick. Hold on. No, it doesn't. Alright, so it doesn't matter. You guys can see that, I guess. You're not gonna be able to probably read it at the time anyway. So, there are a few games that are excluded. A Hat in Time is excluded from the list. It says we've played it twice. And by the way, this is a big, crazy person, Excel file I have for my streams and, like, Let's Plays I used to record. It has all these, like, algorithms and shit for counting how many times I've streamed stuff and stuff like that. So anyway, A Hat in Time. Technically, I have streamed A Hat in Time twice, but I basically haven't played it either time. We did one stream where we tried to get it to work multiplayer, and didn't work. Or no, sorry. I should clarify, because Hat in Time is a fucking awesome game, and I don't want to go off the impression that it's, like, broken or something. Steam Remote Play did not work. Motherfucker, Blanket. You need to figure out... Oh my god. Why is every single thing gotta break? Sorry. I don't mean to be whiny. But also... Okay. Here we go. Holy fucking shit. It's been fine for days of me using the blanket in the same fucking position, and now that I need it immediately for this fucking shit, it's oh, what a whiny stream. Alright, cool. Anyway, Hat in Time. I love this game. It's one of my favorite games. But we're not talking about it because we're not ranking it because I didn't technically stream it. Or I did technically stream it. What the fuck am I talking about? Okay, so the first time my friend and I tried to play it, it was Steam Remote Play on stream. Didn't work. Steam Remote Play specifically did not work. The second time was Vanessa's Curse. Vanessa's Curse, the DLC, does not work. So it's basically two small instances of me going into Hat in Time, opening it up on Steam, and then walking around for a bit. So I'm not gonna count this one. Maybe one day we will. I'm not counting Animal Crossing New Horizons. I didn't barely do shit with that. And then there's some fan games that I am counting on this list, and there's some that I'm not. It's no testament to their competency or anything like that. Oh, I just realized I have a remote only chat off and shit. Well, that fucking sucks. Hold on a sec. That's not good. I don't think I have that on. I'm gonna make sure. Okay, good. Cool. Good lord. Anyway. Oh. It's not anything to their competency, whether or not they're on the list or not. It's whether or not I feel comfortable, like, personally, like, ranking them with these other games one way or another. Big's Big World is a cool and ambitious, like, indie title, but I'm not counting it. Blazing Dynamo is gonna be fucking awesome, but it's a demo of what's to come. So, I'm not worried about that one either. But you should check out Blazing Dynamo. It fucking rocks. What's there already is awesome. And I cannot, I'm very excited. I cannot even, as they used to say back in the day. Even though we didn't beat it, I am counting Celeste. I am counting Deltarune, even though it's technically not finished. I'm not counting Cardic Phone. Obviously, I'm not counting, like, just chatting and, like, tier maker streams and, like, the music stream I did and shit. We are counting Resident Evil 2 Remake. We are counting Resident Evil 0. Even though I didn't stream it for long, we are counting Ristar. Okay, I'm not counting Scrap Story. And the only reason I'm not counting Scrap Story is because it's just demos at this point. And so far on stream, in 2021, I think we played... Maybe it was... Wait, actually, I have it right here. 2020, November 2020, we played 2 Scrap Story demos on stream. It was really cool. They're very impressive, but they're still demos. So I'm not gonna count this one against it. Like, every time they make a new demo, the UI is different in Scrap Story. Like, it's very work in progress at this point. Otherwise I would count it and rank it, but I don't feel fair comparing it to, like, a big budget like Sonic game or like Resident Evil 2 Remake or like Pokemon Diamond, something like that. So no, we won't. We simply will not. I'm not counting Sonic All-Stars, not to be confused with All-Stars Racing Transformed or All-Stars Racing. We are ranking both of those. Sonic All-Stars is a fan game we played during Sonic Month. It's pretty small. Cool, but it's small. Not counting Sonic Cosmic Eternity, that's a pretty short demo. Sonic Gameland, I'm not counting. Same reason as the Sonic All-Stars, really. We are counting Sonic Lost World, even though I only streamed it once. I streamed it long enough to have a fair opinion of that game, I believe. I'm not counting Sonic Mania, because that's another situation like I had in Time, where I technically did stream it once, but it was for like 4 minutes. And we didn't get remote play to work, and then I turned it off. So these are 2 that might be controversial, but I am going to count Sonic Robo Blast 2 and Robo Blast 2 Kart on this list. Reasons being, I think as games, for what they're trying to do, both of them, they're every bit as competent as what they are trying to kind of sort of emulate, or not emulate, pay homage to, I suppose, and reference, that they're so competent that I would compare them to other games like them on this list. So I am counting Robo Blast 2 and Robo Blast 2 Kart. Saturday Liberations I'm not counting. Smackdown I'm actually putting in the same ranking as like Blast 2 and Blast 2 Kart, or not same ranking. I'm putting them in the same, like, you know, I think this is like competent enough to where, like, because like Sonic Smackdown is a kind of a bare bones fighting game to that degree, but it's still such a competent fighting game made by a very small team that, like, I think it's competent enough to rank with the rest. I'm not counting Time Twisted and the Triple Trouble 16-bit, although both of those are also great. I also feel like I didn't get far enough in Triple Trouble 16-bit to give it a full estimate. And like, okay, Triple Trouble 16-bit 2 is a fan game, but it's also a remake of Sonic Triple Trouble, so like, you can almost objectively say it's not finished. Really, that's up to the developer to decide, obviously. I'm also counting Sonic World. Because that one's... There's so much shit to do in that game that one... You know, I know they're not done with it. They're always working on it. And I don't... If Sonic World DX is out now, I'm not sure yet. But, like... Yeah. I'm counting that, ranking it across the rest of them. Sonic Z-Dream, I'm not counting. I am counting Odyssey and Sunshine, even though I didn't play them very often on stream. Most of you probably don't even know I streamed Odyssey, because I don't have a VOD of that. My first stream technically was not the Sunshine stream, and it was not Downwell. technically it was Super Mario Odyssey. I did it for a test stream. It was terrible. It's a horrible stream. I had no dressing on my mic whatsoever. It was just the mic. It was very quiet. And, but I was fine because I thought the game audio was coming through on the stream, and it wasn't. And no one told me. There were people in chat, and no one told me. Like, hey, I want that Odyssey jam. No one bothered. And the rest is like, yeah, of course we're counting those. So, okay. Alright. Without further ado, we waste enough time with that. Let's get into it. Celeste. Okay. This is the one that's gonna be the shittiest, like, on its own, right? I don't love Celeste, truth be told. There are things I love about Celeste, and I think it's a good game. I think it's a great game. I think you'd have to be slightly crazy to play as much as I did of the game and, like, turn around and say, oh, this game's fucking awful. This game objectively sucks. I can't imagine you saying that. So, that said, I didn't beat it because it's not my kind of game. And you're probably thinking, it's cute, it has a great soundtrack, and it's a platformer. Aiden, what the fuck are you talking about? You love this game. It reads to me like kind of those like Newgrounds Impossible games. And I don't like those. I don't enjoy the experience. It's leagues better than most of those. Let's be real. But like it still kind of gives me that vibe. As such, this is a good time to introduce all these, and then we'll get, I swear I'll stop babbling, and then we'll get into the rest of these. This stream will last like 3 hours of me just talking about the games. I should narrate that too. The main part of this stream, it's kind of half and half of, well, actually, you know what? I'd say 60% like, I want to reminisce on my time in 2020 and 2021 while streaming, because that was one of the only good things. There were literally some weeks where like streaming shit for you guys was like it. That was like the good thing that happened that week. Which I know sounds like fucking depressing, but like, I think a lot of people can relate to that. And then like 40%, I want to rank them because I think it's fun and funny to do. What does that mean? That's up to viewer interpretation. So, I should clarify what these are gonna mean, because I also added an F rank. So, the defaults when you make one of these, for yourself is S, A, B, C, and D. D being the lowest. I added an F tier. So what does this fucking mean, right? Okay. Here's what we're saying. So S rank is like, I fucking love this game a lot. It is actually one of my favorite games of all time. Like, maybe not top 10, of course, of all time, but like up there. Like, to where I'd pretty much recommend it to like anybody. And I love the game to death. That's one of my favorites. Or even if I wouldn't recommend it to everybody, it's one of my favorite fucking games of all time. And if I do highly recommend it to people, it's for good reason. A is I really, really, really like it. And you'll start to see what I mean by this when I start putting shit on the list, probably. But, yeah. A is like, I really, really, really like it. But, like, is it one of my new favorite games of all time or anything? No. Like, did it... And then B is like, I like it. I think it's good. It just didn't necessarily blow me away. But there's something about it that, like, does grab me on a certain level. C, I'll say, is like, I feel pretty lukewarm about this. C is the lukewarm tier of like, I don't really feel that strongly about the game one way or another after the fact. It's not bad enough to say I fucking hate it or that I would tell people it's a terrible game, but it's also not good enough for me to put in S, A, or B. D is like, that was not so great. I did not have a great experience with it. Not to say it's objectively terrible or anything, but like, I didn't have a great time, and if I did have a great time, it was like ironic. F, fuck this game. Very few of these are going to end up in F tier, truth be told. Looking back, we mostly streamed games that I like ended up enjoying one way or another. I like that a lot. Well, duh, I like that. In retrospect, I even like it a lot. So, I'm impressed by it, I guess I should say, because a lot of these games are games I'd never played before, and I tried them on stream, and some of them are like some of the most creative and cool fucking games I've ever played, and one or two of them, one of them for sure is one of my new favorite games of all time. And if you follow anything I do, you probably know which one it is, but we'll save it. That said, Celeste. Definitely not one of my favorite games of all time, for reasons I just mentioned. Maybe if I beat it, my opinion on it will change to put it in, like, A, but I don't feel A about it. At the same time, there was enough going for it that I can appreciate and did have a good time with. I could see where they're going with it, that I wouldn't want to put it in C, because I don't think I feel lukewarm about it. So I feel pretty confident putting Celeste in B tier. And I know at first glance at this list, people are gonna be like, "That's fucking blasphemy. What is wrong with you?" But that's just how I feel. And again, this is, you know, it's who am I, right? So fuck it. Who am I? So fuck it, really. All right. Watch me just do this in real time. I was gonna prepare a playlist of songs, and then I was like, "You're obsessing. You're obsessing over a tier maker stream." Like, please don't. This one's probably fine. That's gonna be the Warp Room. Crash Bandicoot 2 for the PS1. We played this in a stream. I beat it. Oh yeah, this was on the music stream. I did a Lexi Karma announcement stream, which is funny because I announced a bunch of shit I was gonna release at the end of 2021. I released a demo. I promised a remake of my original album because it sounds like shit, and an EP of new music. Nada came out. Not a one. So, at the end of that announcement, though, I played Crash 2. That's the relevance. I just thought I'd point that out. Still working on the music. Anyway, Crash 2. Crash 2 is one of my favorite games of all fucking time, and that stream, I think, was a testament a little bit to probably how many times I've played the game over the years. This was a childhood game for me, so I'm nostalgia biased probably more than I'm willing to, like, admit for myself. But honestly, just like design wise, I love it. I love this fucking game. I love games that, on a surface level, right, like, you can play it pretty casually. It's not unchallenging. It's not brain dead easy, but like, you can be chill and coast through it. For the most part, it's got a satisfying and like challenging ending that builds up from a bunch of shit that you have already experienced. But like, now that it's all together, it's intense on its own, and maybe throws some new things at it. Crash 2's last boss doesn't really do that, so it's a bad example. But I love games that do that, but also on top of that, like, because a lot of games do that, right? That's like almost every video game. I like when it does that, but there's like masochistic shit in it that if you really love what you're doing already, you can keep going, and there's more that adds on and on and on to it. I love that shit. Pokemon, I like the old Pokemon games and shit for like that reason. And that's Crash 2 is like the epitome of that idea. Crash Warp is probably the epitome of that idea, but Crash 2 has better levels, but fuck it. And Crash 2 is like such a step up from Crash 1 too. It's like unreal. So that said, S tier, because I don't have to really explain much further than that. Crash Bandicoot Warped. Another one of my favorite games of all time. Why did we play this? That was the E3 stream, right? Yeah, E3 stream. There was one day of E3 that I streamed, this year, and, while we were waiting for those who haven't seen it, so the Bandai Namco stream was what we were waiting for, because I did not know that the Bandai Namco stream was already announced prior, publicly, to be committed to, what's it called? House of Ashes? We joked about it 5 million times during the stream. And that was what their entire stream on E3 was going to be. I didn't know that, so I was waiting for Bandai Namco to, like, release and, like, announce new games or, like, something cool. No, nada. They just talk about fucking House of Ashes. House of Asses. So, yeah, fuck that. But anyway, waiting in between, I started up Crash Warped, and I was like, probably won't beat it, and then beat it. In between, E3 streams. Another great game that's, like, it's a fun, satisfying experience. You play it casually, but there's a ton of shit you can do after the fact, and the secrets are really fucking cool. Crash 2 has really good secrets too, but Crash Warped has, like, cool ones too. Crash Warps are more like, actually, they both have, like, pretty equally good ones. I think Crash 2s are, like, a little better because they're more based on, like, what you're used to as a platformer, as a player. Whereas Crash Warped, more of them are just like, did you notice that? And if you did, there's a thing you can do with it, but you have to figure out what it is. Crash 2's, the figuring out what it is, like, a little, like, smarter, I think. Anyway. The only reason I like Crash 2 more than Crash Warped overall, though, on a surface level anyway, is that it's the same criticism a lot of people have with it, and I have it too. A lot of people say, like, oh, well, the minigames sucked, and shit like that, like, the plane levels sucked, or like, the motorcycle levels are annoying, and I have to agree. To be fair, I've played a lot of shit platformers with a lot of shit minigame segments in my time, and I gotta say, there's far worse out there, and I've played way worse. So, it's still one of my favorite games of all time, and it takes a lot of things I like about Crash 2 as a game, and, like, puts it in this new twist of, like, this time trial thing. And this is before speedrunning was, like, a big thing a lot of people knew about. Like, speedrunning was, like, a kind of a new baby thing at the time. I didn't know what it was. So yeah. Obviously Crash Warp's gonna be an S as well. Yeah. Fuck it. This will make it unmonetizable fuck. What am I trying to say? This will make it unmonetizable on YouTube, but it's a VOD. I don't fucking care. Undertale and Deltarune both have that issue. But I don't think it'll do anything on Twitch. Anyway, Deltarune. Very impressed. I'm still like retroactively impressed. Here's the thing that's weird about this game is that, like, I'll think about shit that I like about it every once in a while, just out of the blue, and will be, like, shocked that it was that good. Another thing to consider with Deltarune, with me specifically, as a fan of it, is Undertale's a new thing to me. I did not play Undertale until 2021. And I only played, like, one route. It was, like, pseudo-pacifist. I might stream a true pacifist run here in 2021, or 2022, but we'll see. But yeah, so Undertale was like a fully new thing for me. And I wasn't even aware like of what Deltarune Chapter 1 was. Like I knew there's something Deltarune related out. I thought it was like a whole game. I didn't know the full thing behind it. And then I have a few friends that were like in Undertale, and they were like, "What the fuck?" Like, no, Undertale, and I was like, "Okay." And we'll talk about Undertale in a bit, but yeah, Deltarune really blew me the fuck away. Cause I like Undertale, but like as a game, I'm like, eh. Like Undertale is one of the few games that I actually like. I'm like that I feel like I feel like Undertale is a better experience for me than it is a game. Like it's still a good game. It's a solid RPG, but the focus is, I don't think, on it being an interesting RPG. But what it does with that, and usually when games are like that, I don't like that. But what Undertale does with that, I think it does really well, and that resonated with me. And I think it does it so well that I still praise it to this day because of that. Deltarune has all that shit that I liked about Undertale. It has a new mood, a new attitude, and I like that. I like the aesthetic of Deltarune as well. Not that it's too much different from Undertale, but fuck it. I like Undertale's aesthetic too, but Deltarune has like, it's different, you know? Yeah. But as an RPG, I like Deltarune, and that's why I'm so fucking excited. And once we beat Chapter 1 on stream, I was just like, well, that's pretty cool. Chapter 2 gets announced out of fucking nowhere. So fucking weird of a coincidence. So fucking weird of a coincidence. Unbelievable. So I got to play both chapters in the same year. So cool. I like the tension system. That was neat. That might be part of what separates it as an RPG from Undertale to me. There's not a single bullet hell section or aspect in Deltarune that I remember being bullshit. Undertale, I can't name specific ones right now, but I remember some of them being like, you would not know this until you've been hit by it like 12 times. Garbage. And some of it's just hard on its own. It's like, how the fuck would you figure this out without replaying the game over and over again or some shit? Or looking up a guide. Deltarune, I'm like, nah, it was all fine and well and good on its own. And how you play it, even just as like each chapter is like different playthroughs for different people. It's really weird. Like Jevil is like what, a 1 in 1,000 chance you'll even get to fight Jevil in your playthrough. I did not know Spamton was a thing. I thought Spamton was just part of the vanilla like plot. Like I didn't know that was like an optional like side thing when I fought Spamton. And then someone else was like, yeah, I didn't even know about Spamton. I was like, I found something out about this game that you didn't, and I have not known shit about this my entire fucking life. Anyway, so Deltarune though, I feel like I might as well talk about Undertale and Deltarune in the same chunk instead of just going strictly in alphabetical order. There's kind of no point in waiting. All right, so Deltarune. Despite all that shit I just said about it, and how much I do really like it, there is still something that feels like kind of unfinished about Deltarune, which, duh, right? Because it's episodic, and there's gonna be like, what, 7 of them, I think? And we're on 2. 3's in development now. But because there's like this hinging thing I'm waiting for, each chapter resolves itself satisfyingly enough, and I love that about Deltarune. I should also point out, I conceptually don't like episodic games, and I'm completely fine with how Deltarune handles their episodes. I think Deltarune is fucking great in that aspect. And I totally respect the decision. 110% respect the decision to make this game episodic. That said, one of my new favorite games of all time? We'll wait and see. Because the thing is, with a lot of games like Crash 2 and Crash Warped, every once in a while I'll get the itch to just play it again. Even though I've already done everything in Crash 2 and almost everything in Crash Warped. Just because I fucking love those games. Deltarune's not on that level. I've had more itches than most of the games we played in this era of time to replay it, but not a huge amount. However, there's so few like criticisms I have for this game. I can't even think of one on the top of my head right now, really, that are like big enough for me to put it in B. So Deltarune gets an A. And I say we just talk about Undertale while we're here. Let's fuck it. By the way, soundtrack fucking slaps for Deltarune. I'll get what's it called? Rude Buster? The fighting theme of Deltarune stuck in my head, just wherever. I'll be wherever. I'll be out. I'll be here. I'll be in my apartment, and it'll just come to me in my head. Alright. So Undertale, I kind of already talked about a few things. I'm not a huge fan of it. I think, again, like I said, as an experience, I enjoy it. And I normally don't like video games where people's excuse for it being good are, well, it's for the experience, or it can do this, that, the other, or it had so much potential. But if the gameplay sucks, I don't fucking care. Undertale has good enough gameplay, and the thing I like about Undertale's gameplay is that it didn't have to be a great RPG. Like, user interface-wise, in terms of, you know, risk versus reward, or in terms of MP conservation or whatever, you know. Undertale as an RPG, because the overall goal, I think, of what Toby Fox was trying to do with it was so strong, the RPG elements of this game could have been significantly shittier, and I think Undertale would still be a good game. But Undertale's RPG elements on their own, if we ignore the bullet hell for a second, are so good on their own and like fun. And they surface and intertwine with theming and the aesthetic and the style so fucking well that it makes this a great game. I'm definitely not putting it in an S, because as I've already stated, I like Deltarune more than Undertale, for sure. Would I say it's objectively better? But like, I don't know, Deltarune hits more checkboxes for me personally. Part of me wants to put Undertale in B. However, I think there's a lot of Undertale I personally still have not explored. Because I've only done the one route, and it's like the default route. And some fans of it will tell you, what the fuck is wrong with you? You didn't beat the game. Like, that's not a real ending. So I would say A. On the same laurels as Crash 2, Crash Warp, and Deltarune, actually, is that it's another game that I like, that you can... I really just like the experience of just going through it as well, but there's a lot more you can do with it. In Undertale, it's less so much that I love the main experience enough to want to play it over and over again. It's more that, like, this game gives way more intricate and, like, psychologically intimate reasons for you to want to come back and play it again. And I think that fucking rocks. Where are we at next? Downwell? There we fucking go. That's my jam. Oh, it's been a while since I've heard that fucking song intro. Fucking Downwell. Downwell is one of the first games I've ever streamed. I think I've streamed it 3 or 4 times. And I've still yet to beat it. Because it's a hard fucking game. There was a tweet, like, last year from, I don't remember who the name of the creator is of Downwell, but they basically said, he said, like, he played it one day, like, not that long ago. Because Downwell's, like, an older game. It's not that old, but it's, like, it's what, like, 7 years old now, maybe? And he was like, why did I make this game so fucking hard? The creator can't fucking do this shit. So, I just said I don't like Celeste that much, or not as much as other people. I still like Celeste. Not as much as other people, because it's like, what are those Newgrounds Impossible games? What does that even mean? It's not the difficulty factor, because Celeste, unless you're trying to get everything, or at least so far from what I played, it isn't that hard. As much as I fucked up and died, I'd say it isn't that difficult. Downwell's fucking difficult. What I meant by Newgrounds Impossible game is one of those games where you just keep dying and you have to start over and do it again, start over and do it again, start over, do it again. And it's just the same monotonous shit over and over again. It's just, you're punishing yourself by playing whatever fucking game it is. And the deaths are just like, you just waste time. It just wastes your time. I don't like that. Downwell uses that loss of time by getting a game over as a roguelike to, like, make you feel like that's the horror element of this fucking game, is that you'll lose all this, not only the time you put into this run, which admittedly isn't that long for Downwell, but, like, all the stress you put into it, because Downwell doesn't fuck around with you. By the second world, it's already terrifying. There are some runs where I don't make it to the second world, still, and I've been playing this game for years. I like the aesthetic. It's very minimalistic. Minimalistic is actually not a word. I use it, but it's not a word. Should I be ranking these by, like... Nah. Maybe I will. Nah, I'm not gonna rank them by, they're just, if it's an S tier, it's an S tier. If it's an A tier, it's an A tier. I'm not gonna rank them, like, individually. So anyway, Downwell. I just made that decision on the fly. Soundtrack's also not bad. It's again, it's minimal. Well, the thing is, this was originally, like, I think supposed to be a mobile game. And then they just ported it to they made a the people who worked on it made a console, like, port. I play mostly on PS4. I have it on Steam and PS4. I mostly play it on PS4. Whenever I've streamed it, it's been on PS4, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Unlocking things is simple. It's not an original idea, but, like, it works for what it is. I like the shop system in this game a lot. Because, again, you get more cool shit. Everything in it is really fucking cool. It doesn't look as cool as something like Hades or, like, Darkest Dungeon, right? Like, it just doesn't. It's a bunch of pixels, but you pulling it off looks insane. Because it's just so fucking skill-based, the whole thing. And you start acquiring taste for, like, all the different stuff. And you can lose that stuff. So that's... I don't know. At a certain point, I'm kind of just explaining what a roguelike is, and not really talking about Downwell. But I like it. And kind of like Undertale, not quite like Undertale, because Undertale is a lot of dialogue, right? Downwell has the opposite effect that I like in a video game, actually, is that, like, if you can tell a story, or at least, like, set an atmosphere, set a world up in some way, shape, or form, with, like, little to no dialogue, I like that shit a lot. So for Downwell, it definitely pulls that off, for sure. Critiques about this game, though, instead of just been saying good shit about it, it's... One of the things I like about it the most is that it's minimalist. You can play it, you can pick it up and, like, fuck around with it for a few minutes to an hour, and then move on to do something else, and not feel like you missed out on a whole lot. But, like, at the same time, it's minimalist, like, to the point where, like, after you beat it, the only thing to do is to, like, do more shit that's harder. Which requires you to pretty much go through everything you've already gone through again, but more fucked up this time. And I'm not even conceptually, because I haven't beat it, like I said before, I haven't beat a run. I've come very close a few times. I'm not so much into that, because I'm a pussy and I'm not that great at video games. But this game, like, I've done it so much because it's just satisfying to, like, kill shit and get better at the game. That, like, now, I don't know. But, like, critique-wise, I'd say, like, yeah, it's really fucking hard. And, like, for people that don't play video games that often, as minimalist as this game is, because usually I recommend them something that's, like, easy conceptually to grasp. You know, like Pummel Party. Pummel Party is easy to grasp. Like, friends my age, or like even a few years younger, they've played Mario Party. They understand how Mario Party works to a degree. Pummel Party, I go like, it's that, but like with blood. And they go, that sounds fucking awesome. Cool. I just sold somebody on Pummel Party. I can't really sell people on Downwell. There's a lot to explain with Downwell. And the payoff to that, I don't feel is like as good. Like, Undertale, the payoff to that is good. But, like, Downwell, like, it's a simple game, but it's not simple enough to, like, recommend to people on a wide scale, I guess. As such, I'm not going to put in an S. Although it's a staple on the channel, S is not for staples. I'll have to keep that tradition alive, though, and stream it again this year at some point. Anyway. A or B? Definitely not C. Fuck. I'll say B. I love me some Downwell, but, like... maybe A. There's just not as much substance to it, I guess, is the thing. Like, it's one of the biggest draws for me, what brings me back to this game, and also one of the things that pushes me away is how minimalist it is. And I keep using that word like a broken record, but that's how I feel about it. And now we've talked about this all the way through, like, almost its entire soundtrack, so, like, oh, that's not true. It's 9 minutes of it. Anyway. Alright, now let's really get fucking DMCA'd off the platform. And this one I gotta be careful with, because there is, like, there is something on here. I don't remember what it is, but there is something that, like, they'll come for your ass. Okay. Alright. Very, very few people that are gonna see this or watch this probably remember me even streaming this game, but I swear to God, it's a thing I did. Dragon's Dogma, specifically Dark Arisen, which I don't even think I got far enough into the game to fully understand what the fuck that's about. So Dragon's Dogma, when it was new, was a game I was really excited about. I played a demo of it on PS3, and I thought it was fucking cool as shit. And then I never really picked it up. And a bunch of fucking dude bros that I hung out with at the time, that I don't hang out with anymore, were like, no, you would like it, it's really good, because it's an action RPG, and you like RPGs, but you can also, like, jump around and hit shit, which you like doing. And I was like, cool. I gotta say, after playing it a little bit, I'm a little disappointed in it. For those who don't know, which is 99% of the people who will see this probably, this is one of the first games I ever streamed. It was like November of that year or something like that. I streamed this with hopes to, like, go through it. I was, like, ready to go. And after 2 streams, I was like, I'm done. This isn't fun enough. The gimmick of making your own silly character and, like, throwing them at shit, it was fun for a bit. The thing, and I think there's a mod that, like, gets rid of this, so maybe I should try it again with that grain of salt injected. There's a thing that gives it, like, a fast travel system. The problem is they kind of designed the game around, like, well, you go and you get experience through this, like a traditional RPG, like Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest or something, or like Pokemon. But the difference is that eventually with those, you do get fast travel to some degree, you know, or at least faster travel. In the case of a lot of Final Fantasy games. And the other thing with Final Fantasy, though, is that it, like, takes you from place to place a lot of the time, you know? Like, there's a reason you're going from point A to point B. Dragon's Dogma is, like, just quests. And it doesn't feel that great because of that. You don't... Even though it gives you a whole ass cutscene where you have, like, a dragon's heart inside of you, it, like, immediately after that is, like, you're not special. Like, you're just another person in this world. Which can be interesting if you play it right. I don't feel like in the few hours that I played it that it did. Yeah, I fucking tried. And maybe one day I'll try again. But part of the reason I quit streaming it, part of the reason I quit playing it, wasn't because I hate it, or I think it's a miserable, terrible fucking game. It was really more that I was just getting frustrated with having to go places slowly, and like every time I die, I have to go do its other shit again and just retrace my footsteps from whatever the last save was. And it just got old. And it started weighing on me and making me a little whiny during the second stream. To the point where I was like, this is probably not fun to watch anymore. Because when I shit on a game, I usually come up with things to say on the spot. With Dragon's Dogma, after a while, it's just like... Because there wasn't enough terribly wrong with it, where I was like, this sucks ass, and I should keep playing this to just shit on it. But there also wasn't enough to keep me going, either, so... Again, maybe one day I'll try it again, but I probably won't. I feel like there is a lot of potential with it, though, but LLZs. Definitely not S tier, certainly not A tier. Definitely not B tier. The traveling is so monotonous that I almost want to put it D. But I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt that there is a lot of fun to be had with it that I just have not tapped into, personally. So I'll say it's C tier. This one I gotta be a little careful with too, actually. I think. This will be fine. They have an algorithm set that looks for everything on this fucking soundtrack anyway, so I can't save myself with this one. But it doesn't touch me on Twitch, so... Anyway. Final Fantasy motherfucking 9. Dude. You know? You know what I'm saying? Final Fantasy 9 is one of the biggest fucking things on this channel right now, because although it was one of my least watched fucking things and probably tanked my channel, I had a good time streaming it. It hurt. Basically, for those who don't know, from May of 2021 to what? October of 2021? Maybe even early November of 2021? I streamed Final Fantasy 9 because it took that fucking long. It's a 4-disc RPG. And what was the one that took forever? Disc 3, I think? Or Disc 2? One of the two. Disc 2 or Disc 3 took fucking forever. I think it was Disc 3. Maybe it was Disc 2, I don't remember. One of them just fucking dragged. It took a long time, but as a testament to how much I don't fucking hate it, yeah, I played it for months. It's one of the only Final Fantasy games I've actually beat, truth be told. I think it might be the only Final Fantasy game I've beat. Now I'm thinking about it. Sorry, I was having an internal health issue there for a second. Anyway, what do I even say about Final Fantasy 9? For the most part, the story is really fucking good, and I usually don't like games that are purely carried by their story. But Final Fantasy 9 has enough going for it as a turn-based RPG to keep me interested. I don't know if it would be for every fan of turn-based RPGs. It's definitely not for every fan of RPGs. But it works for me. I love the character designs. I like the overall aesthetic of the game. I like the settings. It has a lot of memorable looking settings. I don't remember the name of everything, but like it has a lot of very memorable settings. Very, very competent fucking RPG. Very competent experience. But as a game, what does it do? I like how it doesn't fuck around with you having to figure out how to do certain things. Sometimes to a fault. But for the most part, it's fair. About, well, you had something to prevent this, or you could have done this. But I will say it might have been luck for me, because I happened to just get a bunch of shit and equip it to the right characters to make this, like, work. I think there are certain things that would be frustratingly near impossible to get through without certain builds, and some parts of the game where that's a thing split your party and then leave you in a place where you can't do anything about it unless you made another save before that point. But for most of these scenarios, you wouldn't know that until it happens. What are you gonna do? Make a new save every time you save? That'd be fucking tedious as shit. It's a PS1 game. I would find that annoying on a PS4 game, let alone a PS1 game. Fighting wise, I like all the characters. Like, there's not one that's like objectively shitty out of the 8 characters. I like that. And none of the character arcs are like overwhelming. Like there's like 8 characters. But like no, I don't know how to fully put it into words. At least not quickly. None of them overbear onto the other ones. All of their stories like intertwine at a root sense, and then they come together well as well, for the most part. Some of them don't have as much interaction, because like Amaranth, for example, you don't really have a lot of time with Amaranth. Like, Aiko's okay. Aiko's wrapped up well. For a kid, for a child character, she's done well, I believe. Steiner's a really good character. Character-wise, I do have, like, gripes, though. I think Kawina's fine. I don't have any... As a character, I don't have any major complaints with Kawina. Actually, you know what? I do, but I'll get into it in a sec. Dagger's a really good character. I wish they'd done more. And I know I kind of half-jokingly said this a lot during that series. If Zidane weren't the main character of Final Fantasy IX, on several levels, I would enjoy Final Fantasy IX more. On several levels. In terms of gameplay, if Zidane were optional, I'd probably enjoy the game more. Who would I replace him with then? He's the main character. Freya. Because you know who's an awesome character? With an infectious, cool personality. And a tragic as fuck backstory that plays out in front of you in real time? Freya. You know who has a stupid backstory? It's just convoluted. And then when you find out all the convoluted things about it, you realize, oh, it's actually not that convoluted. You were just abused as a child. Good. Me too, idiot. Zidane. That's who. And they both live in the same, like, world, right? But Zidane's, like, kind of detached from it because he's half monkey. What the fuck was that about? Freya is a rat person. That's just one of the races in this world. Nobody bats an eye at Burmesians. Because they just know they're a thing. No one cares. It's fine. Zidane has a monkey tail. You live in Final Fantasy world. No one gives a fuck. But the main thing I'm going to complain about is the fact that Zidane is super fucking arrogant. And he's a misogynist. And here's the thing. They could have used that arrogance to his advantage, because unlike Titus, in combat, Zidane holds his own. And he holds his own immediately throughout the game. And when you're all leveled up towards the end, he's still one of the most powerful characters you fucking have. He's arrogant, and he has a fucking reason. Cool. Plot-wise, he's arrogant, and he has a fucking reason. He was raised that way. He's trying to outdo that. He's trying to outdo his father figure. These are interesting things. But they don't focus much on that, because everything Zidane does, up until, like, Disc 4? Late Disc 3, I think? Is based on whether or not he can fuck Dagger. Ugh. Despite his arrogance, too, he's also an altruist, which is interesting. Like, he thinks he's the hero. And then later, they play with that to an extreme, which I won't spoil. But even then, like, he still does a bunch of shit, like, and then they try to play it off as like, oh, well, Dagger's really important to me, and we're really close. It's like, no, you just don't. Here's the thing. They have established friend characters that he has early in the game, and he feels emotionally close to those, and it's portrayed well. And then later he's like, Dagger. But it never feels like he actually has that deep of a connection with Dagger. It feels like Dagger has a deep connection to him, and he's horny. And he thinks that's more than what it is. I wish they would have done more with that. There were clever things they could have done with it. Instead, he just never learns his lesson. He just goes through a bunch of crazy fucking existential magic shit. And then, yeah, then the ending happens. He grabs her ass and it's never addressed again. He sexually assaults her in the first disc. It's like basically never addressed again. It's bullshit. Bullshit. For the year 2000, or when this came out, 2000? Yeah, bullshit. Garbage. Freya is like in constant grief the entire game. And the reason why becomes more interesting as you learn more about her character. And they could have done a whole fucking game on that. But no, Zidane has to be the main character. Fucking Vivi could have been a great main character of this game. Because most of the themes that hit hardest for me as an audience member were due to something related directly to Vivi or how Vivi processes a certain situation. It's very interesting. Because, like, Amaranth's a big badass. Steiner thinks he's a big badass. Zidane thinks he's a big badass. Dagger's trying to be more badass. Freya's a badass. Vivi is disconnected from all the shit. He doesn't know what's going on. He barely knows where he is. And he's thrust in these badass fucking situations. And, like, no, it has to be Zidane. Like, fuck you. In any case, as a game, I like the equipment system. It's probably not fun to watch on a stream, but I like the way it's portrayed. A little bit of a, like, quality of life UI upgrade would be nice. Like, if they were ever to, like, fully remaster, or even, God forbid, remake this game. That would probably save it. And make it way less tedious. I'd recommend it to more people if that were the case. Weird that there are two white mages and they don't really do a whole lot with that. Like, combat-wise. I get that, like, there are times when the party is split, you need that. But there were also times in the game where you were stuck with Dagger and Aiko, and you couldn't do anything about it. It's like, why? Why do this? Okay. I've blabbed about this game long enough to where I feel insecure about how long I've been talking about this game on stream now. So I'm gonna put it in a slot and shut the fuck up and move on to other games. Definitely not S rank. Although it is one of my favorite games from the Final Fantasy franchise that I've played thus far in my life, which, to tell you, not much. Still not S tier though. Haphazard, misogynist bullshit aside, and what I feel is like a almost unsatisfying ending. The ending is satisfying for most of the characters, and I won't spoil why I feel that way right now. But the game itself is, like, really fucking good, though. The thing is, though, like, would I ever play this again in my fucking life? Absolutely. Time, no object. This is a big time investment. And unlike a game like Persona 5 that I've sunk an embarrassing amount of hours into, like, at least that game has a reason for its length. This one, like, it doesn't get boring necessarily. But there are moments of tedium, I will admit. Definitely not C. Definitely not S. I'll put it in A, just because there are few things, like, there was a lot of shit I already mentioned in this stream that, like, Celeste and Downwell could have like done to make me personally more interested in it. Not like objectively better, just like it would have done better for me. Final Fantasy IX, it's like a lot of them are plot based. Like as an experience, like it's I'd put it in an A. It's solid. And it's emotive. And I think even if I wasn't voicing characters, it still would have like been effective. But bias, I also had to act as all of these characters as they had dialogue. So I kind of, put myself in the moment a bit on purpose. Anyways, we've wasted too much time on this stream. Way more than I thought I would, talking about Final Fantasy fucking 9. But like, it's one of the longest fucking series we've ever played. The only series longer we'll talk about that and why is Pokemon Diamond. Oops. Hades. Fucking Hades. So anyone watching this that knows me or has followed shit that I've done or has seen me stream or has seen me stream Hades, you already know this is going in S tier, but I'm going to talk about it for a little bit anyway. I was familiar with Supergiant's other works, being Bastion, Transistor, and Pyre. However, I hadn't played any of them. I played Transistor at my friend Taylor's apartment, her old apartment, her old place, for like a few minutes. And then we got distracted by like food that was like ready. And I turned it completely off and we never touched it. But I digress. Hades. So I wasn't familiar with Supergiant. Like I didn't buy this game on a brand loyalty. I'd heard about it, but I didn't know fully what it was. And then I saw it on Steam once, and I was like, that's a hack and slash. Oh, it's a roguelike. Meh. Because just watching intercut footage of it on, like, Steam doesn't do the game justice of what it is and how effective it is at what it does. What it looks like is not even a tenth of how good it actually fucking is. Somebody recommended it to me and it was like, you need to play Hades, and they kept bugging me about it. And I was like, maybe I'll eventually get to it. It seems alright. Like, maybe I'll try it out. And then I finally bought it. I played it early 2021 for the first time on stream, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. I can see myself getting into this. And then, like, I went through a depressive spell, and that's all I did. I now have almost 200 hours sunk into this fucking game. And it's not an RPG, like, it's a roguelike. It's a roguelike fucking hack and slash. Based on a bunch of gods. A bunch of fucking mythological bastards. So what's up with Hades? What separates it from being just another fucking hack and slash roguelike then, of which there are millions? It's what a lot of people would call a roguelite, I suppose, because there are elements of things you collect that you can keep throughout runs. And it's not things that immediately make you better at the game. It's a currency that you have to plug into different points based on what you think is going to make you better at the run, because getting to the end without extra help is like so fucking hard. But the game is literally set in hell. So, like, of course. The story. Holy fuck. The plot is so complex. And I don't mean that in a Kingdom Hearts way, to where there's a bunch of fucking details you need to piece together to understand what's happening. It is emotionally complex because it's so organized for you to figure out on your own. Like, this story could only be told this well in a video game like this. It is one of the best fucking depictions of a plot in a video game I've ever seen, because it uses the story to enrich the game, and the two have a great fucking relationship. And it's fucking beautiful. And so the way it plays out is even more satisfying because they have that intertwined, like, game to plot relationship the whole time. And so, like, when you get to, like, the epilogue, it's like, oh, I'm seeing the fucking epilogue, and I brought this into effect. The epilogue is set. Like, nothing you do is going to affect how the ending happens. The game's plot is just roundabout, like, the details all come together at different points based on what you do and how you play. It's so fucking cool. And it has a lot of clever ways that don't feel forced, like, try to egg you on to experiment with different ways it has to play the game. And I really like that about it, too. If I played it right now, I could pinpoint a few things I could criticize, but they're, like, really small, like, UI things. Like, you can see everything, even though everything happens, like, so fucking lightning fast in this game. It doesn't matter. Like, you can see where everything's still, like, if you didn't see it, you could have seen it. There aren't a whole lot of moments where you're like, well, fuck, I didn't see that. What the fuck? How was I supposed to know? Most things that happen to you are, like, your fault. Some of the poison can be a bit bullshit, I'll say. But, it's also only one part of the game. The soundtrack is really thematic. The motifs in the soundtrack are utilized really well. They're never overutilized. And the side quests, like, with all the different people, like, first off, you have to get a certain relationship rapport with some of the characters to advance the plot in between runs, like, whatever. But it's so satisfying to do it, I don't care, because all the characters are fun. Every character in Hades is fun. There is not a fucking boring, oh, this is a side quest, stick in the mud fucking character in Hades. There are, like, 20-something characters you have a relationship to build with. And they're all good. And they all have, like, an arc. And they all see it to fulfillment. And some of them even have shit after the fact. Like, I've beaten the epilogue, and I still haven't seen all the dialogue that happens in the game. Because there's shit that they keep going through. And it makes the world feel, like, lived in. It's so fucking cool. So good. So fucking good. And here's the thing. This over, like, Crash 2 or Crash Warped, it's an indie title, so I can recommend the fuck out of you. If there's one game you ever hear me recommend to a general audience to play, and you give it a shot, and you pay even full price for it, and just listen to me on this one and trust me, play Hades. Hades is the one. And if the, like, roguelike thing of it daunts you, or, like, the fact that I've put in almost 200 hours and I haven't seen everything there is to see in the game yet, if that's, like, scary to you, there's a, like, it's called God mode. It makes it to where, like, if you just care about the story, it, like, goes on its own. I don't know fully how it does that yet, and I've actually wanted to do a stream where I figure out what the fuck that is, but, like, you don't have to be super hardcore, because this is the thing that's, like, kind of scary about a lot of roguelikes. People will be like, oh, the lore in it's really good. But, like, to understand that, to get to a point where you don't know what the fuck that even means, takes so fucking long. And because you're just constantly getting axed and then start from the beginning, and axed and start from the beginning. And this game is fucking fun. It's fun to do that, and there's a way to do it where it's not as, you know, you don't have to be like fucking amazing at the game, to get, you know, a decent story and, like, fun character relations out of this game, which are some of its strong suits. But like even on a gameplay, I haven't even talked about how fun the gameplay is. Everything is snappy, but it's never too fucking... It's never too much. And if it is, it's because you set up things in it on your own volition to make it like that. And if it's slower, it feels weird, and it's like part of the challenge to figure out what the fuck to do with that on your own, based on what you've already known from like using the sword or whatever for so long. Oh, so fucking good. If there's one game you listen to me on, and even if you pay full price for it, which I recommend as well, it's worth it. Fucking Hades is the one. S tier. Easy S tier. I'm gonna shut up now. I could talk about Hades for fucking all day. All day. Every day. Oh, I'm wearing out my voice. Give me a sec. Sorry, like I said, I recorded vocals earlier. I recorded like singing shit earlier, and it's cold as fuck in my apartment, so like my voice was basically shot to shit after like an hour, which fucking sucks. And I decided, hey, let's stream a stream that's based on me talking entirely, like more than usual. Okay. So, Mega Man 11, I definitely don't have as much to say on. We played it for one stream in 2021, just on a whim. It was something in my Steam library. Fucking forever ago, I got like a Humble Bundle deal or something that was like a Capcom specific bundle. I got Mega Man 11, Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil on Steam, Dead Rising 4? Or something like that? Devil May Cry 4, I think. Or was it 4? Was it 4 or was it the first one? I think it was 4. I don't remember. Street Fighter 2. Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2. I don't know why. And Mega Man 11 was one of them. And I was like, fuck it. I tried the demo for it on Switch, and I was like, the gimmick seems cool, but I don't see this going anywhere to where it's going to be fun to use. And then I finally played it for myself on stream, and I realized, no, that's not an issue. That is not the issue with Mega Man 11. Now, it's not terrible, but I feel like... Here's the thing. Game critics, right? And you know what I'm talking about. Not like people making YouTube reviews. Game critics, right? Like IGN bullshit. I don't give a fuck what they say. When a game is like in testing or it's about to come out soon, and it's like, oh, it got good reviews, oh, it got bad reviews, oh, it got so-so reviews, I don't fucking care. And it's not that I don't care what other people think. Most of the media I consume is usually recommended to me by someone else. Not a YouTuber. Not a game critic. Someone I know. Hades was recommended to me by someone I know. Fucking Resident Evil 2 remake was... I literally borrowed that from my friend Tanner. Shovel Knight, I think, even might have been recommended to me by someone I know, if I'm not mistaken. Timespinner was recommended to me by Sat, because he does randomizers of it and shit. And he knows a couple people in, like, the... Well, he knows a good handful of people, I think, in the speedrunning community. But he also knows people that, like, worked on the game. By the way, we're gonna talk about that. Timespinner's a good game. Mega Man 11 is just... Here's the thing. The reason I mentioned game critics is that when Mega Man 6 came out, the reason it got harsh reviews isn't because Mega Man 6 is a bad game, or even because it's a bad Mega Man game. It's because it was the 6th fucking Mega Man game on the NES. And fans, casual passers-by that just like playing video games and like Mega Man, and game critics all unanimously said, stop. Give us something fucking new. Because as much as, like, at least if only conceptually, I like Mega Man, not enough fucking changes in each game for me to fucking care. And I don't think they started really doing a great job at changing that until, like, 7. And people don't like that one. 8 tried to change it, but there's a lot of problems with 8. That one, I'll say it was almost there. But I don't think they really got to the point where they're like, okay, this can be a classic style Mega Man game, but like, we can add things to modernize it, and we can make it a fun experience on its own, while also catering to fans of Mega Man. And I don't think they really started realizing that's what we are going to do, and that's what we need to do, until like Mega Man 9. Right? But meh. Like, everything about it's meh. Like, the aesthetics are meh. They look alright, you can see what's going on for the most part, but like, meh. It's fine. The soundtrack's good, but like, it's a Mega Man game. So of course, the soundtrack's gonna be fucking good. But like, a lot of it is like, you can hear it right now. It's like, a lot of it's just like this modern, like, kind of like synth beat shit. Like, the compositions sound like they were done by someone very competent, but the sound font sounds like it was something that was done in a week. You know what I mean? I don't think it's harsh to say that, based on, like, what I'm trying to say. It makes sense in my head and isn't harsh to say. But, like, I'm not trying to say it sounds like they made the soundtrack in a week. I'm trying to say that, like, the sound font sounds like it was something where they're like, oh, shit. I want to play with these synths more so I can do more creative shit with it, you know, like, in the mix. And they were like, no, fuck you. It's gotta, you know, print it, render it. We're done. I get this to mastering, like, in 2 days. Like, you know, it sounds like that. But the compositions are great. Like, it's fine. As a game, I don't know. The weird gear shift gimmick didn't... It didn't add enough for me to give a fuck about it. But it also didn't get in the way as much as I thought it would. So I don't fucking despise that aspect of the game. But I also don't love. Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably put Mega Man 11 in C. And I'm sure for a lot of people it'll be more of a B tier. But for me, I'm too bad at video games. I'm too bad at Mega Man. Because Mega Man is like kind of sort of a trial and error series. And I do not like that about it. I like a lot of things about the Mega Man series, but like, I can't beat any of these fucking games because of that aspect. And 11's not really an exception. Although I will say 11 was easier. I think it's gotta be one of the easiest fucking Mega Man games I've ever played. Because I was getting through shit pretty okay. And I suck at Mega Man. I think I played on normal difficulty too. I played on easy difficulty after. No. Actually, I'm wrong. Maybe I did put it on baby mode. I think I beat something on normal mode though. I'm pretty bad at Mega Man. So, I don't know. Take that with a grain of salt if you're thinking like, oh, I was gonna play Mega Man 11, but Aiden said it was bad. Don't take my word for it. Like, I don't know. That's cool art. I like that. Alright, time to really get my fucking Twitch license revoked. This. Fine. What? I don't know. So this one, unfortunately, I don't have a lot to say about. Not because I think it's a bad game. Or anything like that. Or not because it's lukewarm. Neo The World Ends With You is a game I could not finish due to technical issues. And I'm, like... Every time I think about that for more than, like, a minute, I get a little sad. But oh well, we're doing it. I pre-ordered this game. Like, I fucking... Here's the thing. The World Ends With You was a huge, huge fucking deal to me when it came out on DS. Forever ago. I think that was one of the first games I pre-ordered. And, like, used my saved-up money to be like, oh my god, I need this fucking game, right? So, the story, the aesthetic, the, like, soundtrack, it just blew me the fuck away. Because I was raised, like, in an area that's, like, very strict fucking overalls, get a good fucking job that'll pay well, and pretend to like everybody around you, including your own, like, wife and children, like, and don't be gay. Like, that was the area I was raised in. Lo and behold, if only they knew. And The World Ends With You was just like, none of that shit fucking matters. Fuck them. You cater your own experiences to the other people that you meet around you, but you can expand that based on not the people around you, but what you choose to do with those people. And the gameplay was really fucking cool. When the DS was, like, still in its running, I was like, oh, there's so many cool things these game devs could do with this, but, like, they don't. Or if they do, it's shit. Or, like, if they do, it's, like, subpar and, like, underdeveloped. Like, Drawn to Life, for example. Drawn to Life. Great fucking premise. Like, really cool use of the DS's hardware and, like, design, what it is. But, like, as a game, it's okay. It has its moments. The World Ends With You was, like, a fully actualized fucking vision. And it's another game, broken record, but, like, getting through the story, it's easy enough on its own. And you can make it easier, because there's a cool little, like, difficulty dial thing. But, because of the difficulty dial thing, there's more to collect, there's more shit to do, and, like, that matters, and there's more shit you can do, and the story actually is enriched by this directly through the form of the, well, I guess I shouldn't spoil it if people haven't played the original game. So what do I think about Neo Tooie? I was only able to play less than 20 hours of it. So I tried to fucking play it. I wanted to play it. I wanted to play a lot of it really bad. But my PS4 is a piece of shit, and I had to have it on disc. So now I have a big, clean-ass fucking Neo Tooie disc, but my PS4 doesn't like it, and will try to spit it out every once in a while, because the PS4 fucking sucks. So I might never beat this game. Because trying to rip and play a PS4 ROM is super fucking hard. I don't know how to fucking do it. And I hate how fucking gate-kept it is, too, because I'm not trying to do anything illegal. Like, I have the game, but I can't play it because Sony made a shit console to compete with the Xbox One faster or something. Like, they made a console for investors. It fucking sucked. Anyway, from what I did play of the game, I like that the story has this mystique to it. There's a lot of it in the beginning, and that kind of threw me off a little bit at first, but then, like, new characters pop up, and it's like, okay, this is not... The point of this game is not, what the fuck is... Why is this set in the world of The World Ends With You? Why are these characters recurring? The point seems to be more like, this is a new adventure set in this world. And I can respect that. Rindo and, what's-his-dick's relationship is fine. I like the goth girl that you get. Bold move, too, to make connection to Minamimoto, which is one of the fucking craziest characters in the original The World With You, and be like, hey, this story is connected so much that you're gonna see characters that you recognize, like, from the other game, and one of them is Minamimoto, and he's like super enigmatic and like knows more than you know about shit. Like not just with math, obviously, like what's happening in the plot. Gameplay wise though, like the thing with The World Ends With You is that it had this really unconventional fucking like control scheme and shit, but it worked for what it was. If maybe by luck, but like it worked because it was this new concept and it fit well with the theme of the game, right? Neo Tsuui just has you have the pins locked to different button presses, which first off gives you much less variety in what you can do. In comparison to The World Ends With You, the first one. At least in the long run. The skill tree thing was something interesting that wasn't really done in The World Ends With You, but like, also, it's 2021 when this game came out, and like, you know, we've seen a skill tree now, like, fuck it. So anyway, soundtrack's great. I like that the soundtrack is really fucking good, and it's like, in the same vein of The World Ends With You, but it has its own like thing going on. Like there's a lot more like metal tracks and shit. I think that's really cool about it. Aesthetically, like design-wise, especially character design-wise, it checks off the boxes that The World Ends With You has for the most part. But also like, other than that, like yeah, it's a cel-shaded 3D like anime-looking fucking game. When the 2D shit comes up on screen, it's like, oh, this is a World Ends With You game. And like with new graphics, like in updated like resolution. Oh my fucking god, hell yes. Then you get back in the 3D world, and you get back to the combat is really, and that's the weird things that like the combat isn't as fun as I wanted it to be. I'm not sure what I was expecting, but I didn't expect that to be. Actually, you know what? That's a lie. I kind of did expect it. I was like, I want this game to be fucking amazing because I love The World Ends With You. But they're gonna do something that makes it like just miss the point or like just not be as good. Like there's gonna be something that's like fucked in comparison. And I was hoping it wouldn't be the combat, but it's kind of the combat. It's still good enough or whatever, but like unless you're doing like high and challenge shit, like it gets kind of monotonous because it suffers a lot, and I did not get this from The World Ends With You. Neo Tsuui suffers a lot from like, I don't remember exactly what it's the term for it is in game design, but basically it's like if you have a better way, an optimal way to like clear certain challenges, you're gonna use that, not the weaker shit. It kind of circumvents that with the leveling, but even then, after you play enough of the game, and if you're doing all the side shit along the way while you're doing it, then you're gonna have like crazy OP shit. In these parts of the game, they're designed to be like the baby parts of the game where you're learning what to do. The World Ends With You didn't have that because it wasn't as clear about side quests. That was something you just explored and found on your own, which went with the theming of the game. Neo Tsuui is like, oh, now you all have like smartphones, and now you just have this thing that shows you where side quests are, and it's just like, all right. I'm glad it's organized better to where you can do that quicker, so you don't have to play through this long ass game like multiple times to get everything. But like, it's, in that aspect. Anyway, that's it for now. I'll put it in B, and I'm putting the original World Ends With You at S. But, maybe one day I'll finally be able to fucking play it without my PS4 spitting it out, and then I'll like it more, hopefully. Well, that kombucha's gone. I've been streaming for a while, I've just been talking. Just been fucking blabbing up video games. Panzer Dragoon Remake. A valiant effort by just some hired-on fans of Panzer Dragoon. I grew up with, like, the Genesis was a thing for me, but, like, then after that, I was detached from Sega consoles until they were, like, a weird gimmicky thing to have. Like, later, my friend got a Dreamcast, and later, one of my other friends got, like, a Saturn, and I played them, like, a few times, hanging out with them. But, like, yeah, I never, like, bought a Saturn, or, like, a Dreamcast, or, God forbid, a Sega CD. So Panzer Dragoon was not on my radar so much, but I always wanted to try it out, because I was interested in Sega properties. Because as a kid, I was kind of always hoping they'd do, like, a Sonic, or, sorry, a Sega, like, Smash Brothers kind of thing. Because I thought there were a lot of, like, big, quirky characters they had in their repertoire that would be fun to beat the shit out of each other with. And they still haven't done that, but that's okay. And I was thinking, like, Panzer Dragoon's a weird one that I've come across, just looking at games. But I never got to play it. And now I have, in the form of Panzer Dragoon Remake. For what it is, and for the relatively small team for what they were doing with it, it's good. It's a good game. It's definitely not one of my new favorites or anything, but, like, it's solid. It's a decent arcade, like, shooter kind of thing. And what's wrong with that? It's an arcade shooter where you're a fucking dragon. What works for it on a surface level is what works for it playing the game. However, not as polished as it could have been, at least with the remake. I noticed some pretty big glitches that mattered, but, like, fuck it. For the most part, it was fine. It was a solid experience. I feel like I said a lot of glitches. If I said a lot of glitches, I meant a few. Two that come to mind, maybe. Like, no, it wasn't a... One of them was kind of a big deal, but, like, for the most part, it's, like, fine. Yeah, I don't know. There's not a whole lot I have to say about Panzer Dragoon Remake. Aesthetically, it looked really good for what it was, too. Like, hell yes. Maybe it's just the Steam version, though. There's a lot of it that I was just like, If your purpose with this was to modernize an old console, because here's the thing about Panzer Dragoon, at least not in America anyway, it was not an arcade shooter. It was just like an arcade shooter, and it was on console, kind of like Star Fox 64. But back then, that was a thing. Like, that was a selling point. Because if you were a Sega console household, I guess, you didn't have Star Fox 64. So, like, this could have been Star Fox 64 for your kids that you didn't have to buy a Nintendo 64 to play. Like, we have Star Fox 64 at home. There's Panzer Dragoon, and get a decent experience out of it. Still, you won't get Star Fox 64 out of it, but you get a decent experience. But with the remake, it's like, okay, now you're putting this out into, like, it's well into the 2010s by this point. Like, so you've gotta, if your goal with it is to modernize this old game, you better fucking modernize it. And to that end, I feel like they didn't really accomplish it as much. Like, this whole thing could have been done on, like, PS3, and it might not have looked as good, and it might have ran slower, but, like, it could have been done in that era, and not much would have been lost. I feel like there's, like, even, like, UI shit that doesn't work that well. It's kind of fucked up. There's stuff that's not that clear. That's just UI shit. Like, I don't like that about it. I mean, it was fun enough, but, like, here's the thing, though. I have such good games in B, and such meh games in C, and I don't want to make it a C and a half. Like, The other thing to consider in comparison, though, too, is, like, Well, you know what? I'll just, fuck the comparisons. I'll just do it based on how I feel about it. Is it an S? No, it's not one of my favorite games of all time. Is it an A? No, I wouldn't say I, like, really fucking enjoy it and would love to replay it again someday. Although I did enjoy it, and I would like to replay it again someday. I didn't really fucking enjoy it and would love absolutely to play it again someday. It's not something I think about. Is it a game that I did enjoy, but, like, it's a step above? I don't feel lukewarm about it, but I also don't, like, love it. I'll put it in C. But I'll asterisk. I'm putting it in C, but like it's like a C plus. There we go. That's fine, right? All right. We're in the home stretch. I don't think I have a million things to say about all these other ones. I might have a bit to say about Pokemon Diamond, though. Because this is another one that was one of the longest fucking series that I've ever streamed. To the point where I was almost miserable. It almost became a chore at a certain point to beat this fucking game. And part of that was because I nuzlocked it, and I was dealt a bad hand, and I fucked up a few times. But I feel like it wouldn't have even been that much more fun, or that much funner, if it were, you know, just casual, if I was playing through it. Yeah. I've never been a fan of Gen 4, and now that I have a copy of it and I spent way too much money to get a copy of it, like, legally and physically, I don't feel that strongly about it. I really don't. There's not a whole lot about it that I, like, really fucking enjoyed that wasn't done better in Pokemon White. But, like, it just goes to show how much I like Pokemon, is that, like, if you don't... Because here's the thing, like, I've talked about it before. Pokemon X, I fucking hate Pokemon X. Because, like... Pokemon is just, like, fun. That's why there's so many fucking fan games of it. Because I can just mod it. And, like, if you don't fuck with the base gameplay and, like, that level of progression to that end that much, then people will still like your Pokemon game anyway. And that's why there's so many fan games of it, because they're just taking what already works and adding shit to it. Pokemon Diamond, it was critically acclaimed because it had an online multiplayer, and you could play Pokemon on your DS. It's whatever. And like I said when I was playing it on stream, and I'll say it again here, I did enjoy it more revisiting it than I thought I would. I thought I would really regret my purchase and, like, fucking be like, oh, this game fucking sucks cock. I'm gonna sell it again now because I hate this. I still have it, and, like, it's in my 3DS right now. Yeah. Like, I would play through it again casually. Or maybe even nuzlocke it again if it's, like, a randomizer or something. But, like, the HMs in this game fucking suck. The reliance on HMs in this game in particular fucking suck. Other than that, it's just a fucking Pokemon game. Like, I like most of the other ones better. I'll give it this. I like it more than X. Definitely not one of my favorite games ever. Yeah, no. Do I really like it and put it a step above lukewarm? Honestly, you know what? No. No, I wouldn't. I'll put it in C tier. There we go. That's what you were here for. Pocket Monsters music. Oh yeah, we were using some of this for the Pokemon tier maker streams, so a lot of this is gonna, I guess, just start in weird times. I don't want that one. Whatever. Okay, Pokemon White. Pokemon White's always one of my favorites. Gen 5 is one of my favorite gens in terms of gameplay. In terms of Pokemon, like, I get it, you know. Criticisms, I get them. It's whatever. But as a game, like Pokemon White and Black, they just run fast. Like, there's not a whole lot of HM reliance. And it would just be a standard Pokemon game beyond that, with a bunch of new Pokemon that aren't in the original, like, 4 generation. But it's not, because the environments are, like, cooler. They actually really went out of their way to make Unova, like, a cool place to be. Like, Diamond, like, Sinnoh is, like, shittier Kanto. Like, it's not good. It's Kanto with a bunch of fucking dried up lakes. It has, like, a few, like, really recognizable landmarks. And then the rest of it's just, like, black, like, just blank Kanto. And then Kanto has, like, as a region is not that exciting, but there are a lot of memorable, like, places and story beats, whereas Diamond really tries to make you think there is, but there isn't. Pokemon White just does it. It does both. And it does it okay. People complain like, oh, the story's bad. I'm like, they tried a Pokemon story and they didn't try that fucking hard where it gets in your way any more than any other Pokemon plot. So, I think it's fine. It's whatever. It's more on the nose and not as well thought out as like Gen 1's, but I think it's fine. And I don't know, playing with the Pokemon is fun. Like, the starters are good. There are a lot of rival battles. I don't like that about it, but Diamond's pretty bad at that too. I don't know. I just like Pokemon White. I think it's a solid fucking Pokemon experience, and like, it improved on a bunch of shit in 4, and it improved on a bunch of shit that, like, later, like, in, like, Gen 6, they're like, oh, let's make it a fucking innovative Pokemon experience, but, like, just make it a good Pokemon game first. And I think 5 achieved that, in that spirit, way more than fucking Gen 6 did. Honestly, way more than 4 did. But is it one of my favorite games of all fucking time? Like, maybe top 100. Definitely, you know what? Definitely top 100, because I play a lot of fucking games. I think Pokemon White, I think it's safe to say, definitely top 100. But S rank? No. I'll put it in A. It's a good fucking game. Resident Evil 0 have a soundtrack? I don't even remember. Isn't it just a bunch of fucking, like, train noises? Resident Evil 0 music. Let's fucking go. Let us fucking go. Here, 0 music. Resident Evil 0 is not fun to play. I already don't like Resident Evil though, so take this with a grain of salt. And here's the thing I have to preface this with. I don't have, like, an inherent issue with Resident Evil. I just can't gel with the fucking gameplay of most of them. I don't like them. And Resident Evil 0 takes everything I don't like about the old Resident Evil games and makes it, like, 4 times more egregious to sit through than the rest of it. It fucking sucks. The conservation in it, like, I could have just sucked, but I feel like it's even, like, worse. What to do with the items isn't as clear. And, like, I get it, like, it's part puzzle. It's part of the, like, survival mechanic of it, is that you're supposed to figure that out on your own. And, like, it punishes you by going into different rooms for ammo. But I feel like Resident Evil 1 is, like, a lot more clear. Resident Evil 2 is a lot more clear with, like, main plot-wise, what is it you're supposed to do right now. 0, I feel like it, like, wasn't. But then again, I'm not a huge fan of these games, so I'm kind of talking on my ass here. All in all, though, it just like wasn't fun, and the characters weren't interesting, and like I've played one of the ones I've played the most is weirdly Resident Evil 1. And like the characters are like it was fun to watch them fumble around in like a horror world, right? Resident Evil 0 is like when the series started taking itself more seriously, and in this game I feel like it's for the worst. And it's weird to me that the rest of the franchise went down that path. I'm dropping frames like a motherfucker on my stream. I don't know how that's coming across to you guys, but bad on my end. Maybe it's because I'm streaming video to my computer in 1080 when it's just audio, and I don't need to worry about that shit. There we go. That'll probably do it. I also I turned the bitrate up on this stream to try that out. Nope, it's still dropping frames like a motherfucker. Maybe my internet's just shitting out. I don't know. Hard to tell. Kilobytes per second. It's at. Yeah, it should just be at that. It probably won't let me change the settings halfway through the fucking stream, will it? I haven't set it what it's supposed to be. But it's still like, it's going like above it and freaking out. And I don't know why it's doing that, because I don't have it set to do that. I don't know. Alright, anyway. Resident Evil 0. Is one of my favorite games of all fucking time? Hell fucking no. But do I really like it? A lot. And really, like, enjoy it? No. It's not B tier. It's not a step above lukewarm. Is it lukewarm? No, it's actually really fucking tedious, and like the atmosphere isn't even that like fun. It's like red and dreary. It's like being inside of a corpse. But like, why is it like that? I don't care. So here's the kicker. I definitely don't like it. So I was tempted to put it in D. However, would I consider it like a garbage game? Kind of. It's hard to tell. I'd say F. I don't think Resident Evil fans will be mad about that. I feel like most Resident Evil fans also do not like 0. I don't think I'm gonna get a lot of pushback on that one. Resident Evil 2 Remake OST. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Resident Evil 2 for the PS4 specifically is what I played it on. My friend let me borrow his copy of it for PS4, and he's like a big Resident Evil fan, and he really likes this game. He actually learned how to speedrun it too. But yeah, he recommended it to me, and I was like, and we've known each other for like a while, so he doesn't know like everything about my game taste, you know, like a pinpoint to a T, but like he knows enough to where like he knows where my brain quits and not to a degree. And he recommended that, and I was like, okay, I'll try it. And I wanted to play scary, you know, horror games or like horror themed games or whatever for Halloween, for like October anyway. I'm really fucking just ducking. I'm just chucking frames out the fucking window. I don't know what's happening. I'm sorry. This is gonna come across on the VOD real fucking bad. Here, I'll turn the bitrate back down, but I'm not happy about it. Let's go back to like here. That should like fix it. It'll make it look shittier probably, but like I'd rather it look kind of sort of blurry and shitty than drop a fuckload of frames. I have dropped 3,000 frames this stream over the course of 2 hours, which isn't okay. No, that's pretty much a lot. I don't know what the fuck. I mean, the settings I changed are like drastic, but they aren't like impossible. Like I can record with settings more intense than that. It's fine. I don't know. Okay, whatever. Anyway, I want to talk about Resident Evil 2 Remake. Much more fun. I had more fun with it than I expected. I'm not a big Resident Evil fan, so I was surprised that like I liked it at all. I figured a modernization of something like this too would also be like contrived and like Uncharted and it wouldn't be fun. But like, they didn't. It's like a solid. The puzzles were like cool to figure out. Mine glitched out though. That's why I didn't have fun with mine in the end. But until that point, it was good. The characters are played like well, or at least Claire is. I didn't get far enough to see too much action or acting. It does play a little more like an action thing than a horror thing, but I don't mind that because I'm not a big horror fan to begin with. So that worked out for me. Very clean UI. Part of what I don't like about old Resident Evil games, is how fucking clunky everything feels. So really just taking everything that is supposedly good and fans like about Resident Evil 2 and putting it in a more modern control scheme was like, it's enough for me. And it worked really well for this. Definitely not S tier though. I didn't play enough of it or have that much fucking enjoyment of it. I'd probably put it in B. Yeah, let's put it in B. That's perfectly fucking fair. Ristar OST. Once again. Now we're talking. Which one? I guess it doesn't really matter, does it? Let's go with this. Actually, let's go with the round. Let's go with the Ristar. I didn't play this one very long, so I probably shouldn't talk about it too long. Ristar is one of my favorite Genesis games out of a small pool that's mostly like licensed, like kind of shovelware shit. So, Ristar is really good. For those who don't know what it is, it's a platformer where you play as this little yellow fucker, and you have big stretchy arms, and you interact with things that are based on your big stretchy arms. Of all the obscure Sega shit I wish they'd bring back and like make a sequel and do something with, this might be the top for me with Ristar. I'd say that Super Monkey Ball and Vector Man. And you're probably thinking, well, they just did Super Monkey Ball, but like, no, they put it, what's it called? Banana Blitz? No, not Banana Blitz. Banana Mania. Like, they just did that, and that was dope. But like, I want them to do something new with Monkey Ball that's like more like the originals, but like something new and fresh with it, and not fucking what it's become. But like, that's not gonna happen. They're gonna just do Banana Blitz and things like Banana Blitz for the rest of that franchise's life cycle, probably. Yeah, we're down to Ristar and Vector Man. So I'd say yeah, Ristar. Anyway, I like Ristar. It's a fun and cute fucking game with a fucking badass soundtrack. That's pretty much all I have to say about it. Is it one of my favorite games of all time though? Fuck no. No. I'd probably put an A. I'm not the best at it, but like I feel weird putting it in B though. Like, I'd put it in A. I think that's fair. And yes, this next one does have its own OST. Actually, I won't put the medley part at the beginning. We'll play this. This is a good song. Okay, anyway. Let me drink a little bit more wah-wah. I did not expect to go this long with this. We're almost done, though. Kind of. Are we, though? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 games left? Maybe we're not. We've only gotten through, like, a little over half the games, actually. I'm a liar. Cool! Shovel Knight Specter Torment is one of my favorite games of all time. I still like it more than Shovel of Hope, which is the main Shovel Knight campaign, for those that aren't familiar that much with, like, Shovel Knight and what it's become. Definitely like it more than Plague of Shadows. And I really, really liked what they did with King of Cards. but I still like Specter Torment more. Out of the 4, I will say Specter Torment is probably the easiest in terms of just digestibility and overall difficulty, but I still fucking love it. Actually, I don't know. King of Cards is pretty easy, isn't it? King of Cards is easier, but it's not as easy to digest. Spectre Torment's easy and, like, is good to just kill out in a thing. And, like, the gameplay is so fucking satisfying, though. But, like, I don't care if it's easy. It still makes me feel like a badass regardless. I love that. Spectre Torment. I don't have a whole lot else to say about it. Esther. You know what? I should do a Plague of Shadows stream, though, because I never beat it. I got to the very end and then just dropped it and never beat it. Actually, you know what I should do? I should do a campaign of all of them. I should do all 4 campaigns on stream and then, like, end it with Spectre Torment. At the, yeah, I should end it with Spectre Torment, like, at Halloween or something like that. That'd be cool. I don't think King of Cards would take me that long, because King of Cards only took me long to beat because I wanted to get everything as I was going along. Okay, didn't even make it a whole song through that one. That's fine. I'm just gonna play something from All-Stars Racing Transformed, because I'm probably not gonna talk that long about the first one. That's fine. Yeah! So let's talk about the first one first. Actually, where is the other one? Oh, there it is. It's way down there. We'll talk about both. This is fine. Sonic and All-Stars Racing was a cool idea that it seems like another Sega game and another Sonic game that got undercooked because Sega didn't give a fuck and just wanted it to get out and make money before it was, like, done, from what I've read into it. There's a lot of bloat to this game, and a kart racing game is not something that needs more bloat. The fact that people still like Mario Kart 64 is, like, a testament to how you don't need to bloat up a game like this. You can make it pretty fucking bare bones in terms of, like, replayability and stuff to do, and people will still love it. But, for whatever fucking reason with this game, they didn't get the memo on that, and they just, like, recycled a bunch of fucking assets and, like, made... Basically, all the stages are in, like, what, only 5 or 6 different actual worlds, and the tracks themselves are, like, the designs of the tracks are different, but, like, the aesthetic is the same. It's boring. Because it totally just takes away the, like, theme park ride kind of, like, shit of a game like this, and a kart racer, and, like, why you would play this over, like, Forza or something. Or just play Mario Kart instead. This game has absolutely fucking nothing on Mario Kart. But was it a terrible, glitchy, like, horrible, unenjoyable fucking experience? No. But it's obsolete. Everything you can get out of Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing, you can get out of its sequel twofold. And, like, I don't know, a lot of other kart racing games. Like, even Sonic Robo Blast 2 Kart, which is completely fucking free, is, like, way more fucking fun and endearing, and a better tribute to all the games that it references than this fucking game. I almost said piece of shit. I don't think it's a bad game. It's just, like I said, it's just obsolete. There's literally no reason to play this, like, over anything else. It's definitely not S, definitely not A, definitely not B. As such, I'm gonna put it in C, because there's nothing about it that's, like, awful enough for me to put in D. But, like, again, it's obsolete. But, like, as a game on its own, like, if you like have no internet in your home and everybody's, like, bored and you have the, like, PS3 or, like, Steam hooked up, I guess, and, like, this is one of the only things you have that's, like, that all 4 of your friends can play, like, fine. Or you and 3 other friends, I mean, math is hard. Versus All-Stars Racing Transformed. I did not expect to like this game as much as I did. For the record, I expected it to think it was, like, okay, but, like, after playing this, I was like, I don't know about this whole thing with the All-Stars Racing. It's kinda dull. And then I played this and was like, oh, you wouldn't think the transformed gimmick would like matter that much either is the thing. It totally does. It makes this game like significantly less fucking boring. It's cool. It's very subtle as well, but like when you think about it, it's like, oh wow, that was a big fucking change in this fucking game. Very cool. Very cool that you have change-ups in your fucking video game. Good character choices. I like the customization of the carts. I think it was done in a way that makes more sense and like is easier to understand in this game than it was in All-Stars Racing 1. Better variety of tracks. And that's really saying something because they have a lot of like bonus missions and shit to do, but like it never feels that boring. It does kind of drag if you're trying to get everything, which is why I didn't try to get everything. I didn't even unlock all the characters. And that's one thing I don't like about it, is that you do have to get like pretty fucking insane good to just unlock all the characters, and I think that's kind of lame. So, whoops, no, what? What? Hello? Will it let me do it with an ad blocker? Because that that should never fucking happen again. Yeah, fuck you. Thanks, tier maker. S tier? No. A tier? Maybe. Part of me was to kind of put it in B tier, because like I said, it's definitely not a C. The thing with this game is that, like, in terms of kart racing games, it's absolutely an A tier. Probably S tier. It's probably one of the best, like, kart racers I've played that isn't Mario Kart. Like, if I had to rank kart racers that aren't Mario Kart, this would absolutely be S tier. Abso-fucking-lutely. But, in terms of enjoyment of a game overall, I'll put it in B, because unlocking everything is too much, and even then, playing this with like Mario Kart is easy to jump into. Like even Mario Kart 8 that has a fuckload of customization options, it's still easy to say fuck it, whatever, and then still have fun. So this one's kind of all over the place with what it wanted to be, I think. And in some ways that works, and in other ways it doesn't. Anyway. Ooh, hello. Hello. This is gonna kind of annoying though, because it'll play the different versions of all the different stages. But oh well. I probably won't talk about it that long. Sonic Colors. This is one of my favorite Sonic games of all time, unironically. I think it's actually unironically good. Sonic Adventure 2 Battle is probably in maybe my top 3 favorite Sonic games of all time, but most of it's ironic. Maybe not most of it. A lot of it's ironic. At least half of my enjoyment of that game is lolling at it. Sonic Colors I actually enjoy a lot. I don't have that many bad things to say about it. However, it is also just a 3 Sonic game. The worst thing about it is the colors. Abso-fucking-lutely. The worst thing about it is its namesake. The aliens are not fucking fun to play with. But, yeah. It's a solid, 2D, 2.5D, platformer. And I like that kind of thing. Going really fast, on, water and shit, and, finding new ways in this game is really satisfying, which is kind of just what every Sonic game does. So when it does it bad, it's wow, what the fuck? This game does it well. Yeah. And I should clarify, if it wasn't obvious, I did stream the Wii version and not the new version. If I were to recommend a version of the game for people who have never played this game to try, if you can get a hold of the Wii version somehow, do that instead. A tier. Because I've always really liked this game, but I I've now played enough games to know, like, I don't think it's, like, one of my favorites of all time or anything. It's definitely one of my favorite Sonic games, though. Do I even bother putting on Lost World fucking music? I don't care. Sonic Lost World, fuck it. It's a bad game. Fuck it. Here's the thing. There are a lot of ideas in it that are, like, good. There are a lot of ideas in it that are unconventional that I don't mind, and I at least, like, applaud them for trying something different. But everything else around it is fucking obnoxious. And it's one of those Sonic games where they tried a new idea and then crammed it up Sonic, normal, like, 3D Sonic bullshit's ass, and it doesn't fucking work. Because Sega never gives them the time to, like, figure out how to actually do this shit. Also, weird amount of, like, Galaxy, like, Super Mario Galaxy, like, kind of ideas in this game. It's very odd. Anyway, oh, actually, I guess Sonic Robo Blast 2 Kart, like, doesn't have a whole lot of original OST, does it? I guess I'll just talk about it. Sonic Robo Blast 2 Kart, one of the most genuinely, like, chill games I played the entirety that I've been streaming. A lot more fun than I thought it'd be. It's just a fucking kart racer, but, like, so much love was put into it from, like, fans of all the stuff that's in it, because it has stuff that isn't just Sonic related, like, it has, like, a Castlevania stage and, like, all this other shit. It has, like, just a bunch of nutso shit in it, and it's fun. I haven't even played with other people, and it's very moddable, and, like, it's just a good fucking time. Like, I don't know, it's just a good fucking kart racer. I don't have a whole lot of bad to say about it. And it's a fucking indie game. Like, oh, it's so fucking good. That said, like, not one of my favorites of all time because I haven't modded the fuck out of it. But, like, I would put it in A tier. Like, it's that fucking fun. Sonic Robo Blast 2 probably does. I think. Doesn't it? Yeah, it does. So, although Sonic Robo Blast 2 Kart is based off of this engine of this game, it's not the same developers. It's just a mod, basically. It's a very, very well done and creative and glorified mod of Robo Blast 2. And Sonic Robo Blast 2, for those who don't know, is Sonic. It's this 3D Sonic game in a it's a mod of, like, Doom 2. Or something like that. Anyway, but is it good? Yes. I got frustrated later, though. The minecart stage is pretty hard to, like, get past. And not, like, a fun, challenging, like, oh, what am I supposed to do? Tee-hee, figuring this out is fun kind of way. It was more of just, like, a where the fuck am I supposed to go? Because this is the unruly nature of Sonic gameplay in a Doom engine. It's kind of insane. Sometimes it works weirdly well for what it is, and other times it's fucking obnoxious. The ability to switch between 2D and 3D was really cool. I like that about it. Beyond that, my overall enjoyment of it, like, I was like, I'm like, it's okay. But, like, as far as how impressive it is and how fucking cool it is, definitely good. I'll put it in B. Because I respect it for what it is. Too much to put it in C. But I definitely didn't enjoy it enough to put it in A. But, like, it's really good. Pretty sure Sonic Smackdown has original music, doesn't it? Like, some of it, anyway. I know most of it isn't. 41? Alright. I guess I underestimated it. Case in point, Sonic Smackdown is a crazy competent fan game. It came so fucking far in such a small amount of time, and that's why it's on this list and why I'm ranking it against, like, Deltarune and, like, Final Fantasy IX and shit. Because, like, it's unbelievable how much love and soul was put in this game. Like, I wish in the least grubby way possible that Sega would, like, get in touch with these people that made this fucking game and said, hey, we're just gonna make this official and, like, put it on shit and give you rights to put in, like, all these characters and, like, even more characters that we haven't touched in, like, 15 years. And, like, and you can do whatever the fuck you want and just put in all the characters you want and you have a budget and, like, we'll pay you for your additional labor and shit and, like, pay you for the rights of using your shit, even though it's our IP. Like, it's that competent. The thing is, though, I'm not a huge fan of, like, 2D fighters because I suck at them. And this one's not much of an exception to that rule. But it's Sonic characters, so it's whatever. Because the thing I like about Sonic the Fighters, which I know, like, it's a sin to enjoy that game unironically, but I do like Sonic the Fighters, is that it's just, like, cartoony, like, shit. This doesn't really have that. It plays more like a Street Fighter kind of thing. And that's not my jam so much, but for what it's worth, I do like it. I've definitely put it in B, just out of personal enjoyment. Again, like, I'd say even over Robo Blast 2. Like, I'm tempted to put it in A. I just personally don't like. If you're not playing it with someone else, you're just trying to go to the campaign, I'm not gonna have fun doing that, I guess. So I wouldn't put it in A. But, like, I'm definitely not putting it in fucking C. So I think B is pretty fair. Sonic World has like some original music, doesn't it? No, it just has the one. No, it has like, are these all different songs? I remember this one. I don't know any of this other shit. Oh well. Anyway, Sonic World is like this huge amalgamation of just a bunch of fucking Sonic shit. Like, clearly, like, this is the fan game of all fan games. Like, it's so much fucking shit crammed into one place that, like, it's unbelievable that a small team of indie devs made this fucking thing. Until you play some of it, and then you're like, oh, a small team of indie devs made this fucking thing. Some of it is, like, really fucking competent, and then other parts, like, a lot of the Knuckles, or a lot of, like, well, you can play as whoever, a lot of the, like, treasure hunting shit, it starts becoming more, or, the seams start tearing a little. It's not the most polished fucking thing. The fuck? There are clickies happening in my video. What the fuck is going on? Oh, it shows you the whole, like, theme. No. Please don't. Here, I'll just play the thing that plays during the menu for a bit. Anyway. I like the cast of characters. It's cool because it's just, like, a bunch of shit that, like, Sonic Team won't do. Like, put Shade the Echidna in anything. So, or make Blaze not a fucking joke again would be nice. And Sonic World does that. It's like Sonic Heroes kind of gameplay, but, like, in indie game dev world. It's, I don't know. It's a neat fucking thing. And, like, you get so much more than you pay for because it's completely fucking free. Like, it's a good experience. I'd put it in B. If it weren't so buggy, I'd probably play it more and put it in A. But, like, a lot of times it can get really fucking unreliable. And I have a pretty fucking good PC.
Oh, look, oh my god!
Sonic Unleashed OST. What can I play without getting DMC aid? I can play Windmill Isle, I guess. Alright, Sonic Unleashed. This was one of the main things I wanted to stream really bad. I started it in late 2020 because I couldn't wait anymore and I wanted to try it out really bad. And started playing in 2021. As a kid, I played the Wii version and fucking hated it. but I heard the PS3 and 360 versions were better. And a lot of fans of this game were like, well, of course you hated it. You played the Wii version. Play the PS3 and 360 version. It's so good. Like, it's not, oh, it's better by a little bit. Like, they're like, oh my god, it's fucking incredible. It's one of my favorite Sonic games. And I'm like, fucking, I've seen footage of it. They're not that different, but like, maybe you know something I don't. Looking at like a 280 by 280 screen of Hades in a trailer makes it look kind of boring. So maybe Sonic Unleashed on PS3 and 360 is really fucking good. So I bought it on PS3 right around the time where my PS3's Blu-ray lens started shitting out. So it can't read the game. So I emulated it. I ripped it and purely legally fucking emulated it and played the emulator on stream. But the emulator, as far along as PS3 emulation has come, I just couldn't get it to be reliable enough to continue to play the game. It was really fucking hard, but I tried for like 4 streams, I think, and it just got too frustrating after a while. But even then, most of the problems I griped about the most on stream were not emulator issues. They were fucking issues with the actual game. The whole overworld exploration thing is not as bad in this version as the Wii version by any stretch, but like it's still pretty fucking bad. Even if it were clearer with like what the sun and moon medals do and how many of them you actually will need to like pay attention to progress, it's still not a fun idea, and like it just gets in the way of enjoying what is there. The Werehog stages are not enjoyable. A lot of people said shit like it's monotonous, but it's not bad. I disagree. I think if your beat 'em up is that monotonous, then it's not good. Or it has to have some big fucking aesthetic thing that makes it fun to like play through, and it's not. It's a werewolf Sonic and fighting a bunch of weird neon creatures that don't look that cool. It's a fucking disheveled mess in that sense. Even then, a lot of the day stages are kind of glitchy too. And not that great. It was... I don't know. There's just not a lot of great things I had to say about this one. There is more of it that I enjoyed than I thought. If I'm putting Lost World in F, I'm putting Unleashed in F. I'll give you this, Sonic Unleashed fans. I'll give you this. I'll give you this, Sonic Unleashed fans. I like Sonic Unleashed a lot more than Resident Evil 0. Or actually, you know what? That's a stretch. I would much, much, much rather give Sonic Unleashed a third chance than give Resident Evil 0 a second chance. There we go. I feel okay about saying that. All right, Super Mario Odyssey OST. Sure. Super Mario Odyssey. All right, so this is the first game I ever streamed on. Well, technically, I streamed once in like 2017 or something like that. Test it, and it was like I think Crash Bandicoot 2, but it like did not work, and it was a bad time. My Super Mario Odyssey stream, for the most part, worked, except the Switch audio was not going anywhere, so that pissed me off. Yeah, it was an awkward time. So the stream experience, solid D. The game, I thought this game would suck cock. And then it came out, and I didn't have a Switch, so I didn't play it. And then, before I cut off ties with my parents, they got me a cheap, like, discounted Switch used off of somebody from a church that they went to at the time, and, like, they barely fucking played it. So, they got me this, and they just threw in Mario Odyssey with it, because, like, they're like, we can't play it, we don't have the Switch, so it's included with the Switch, and I was like, well, I guess I'll play Odyssey then, if it's free. And, yeah, as much as I hate Nintendo, I would have paid money for Mario Odyssey. I like 3D Mario games. Some of my favorite games are 3D Mario games. And although for me personally, Odyssey doesn't top Mario 64, Galaxy 1, or Galaxy 2, I'd say on a technical level, it's just as good as all those. It's a very good game. I'm glad they took him in a slightly different direction. It is weird to see Mario in like photorealistic like locations, but like it's subtly stylized enough to where it isn't the most fucked up thing in the world. It's not like Sonic Adventure shit. Well, it is like Sonic Adventure shit, but in like the best way possible. But gameplay wise, like it's just fucking solid. There's a lot of debate people have of whether or not like is it better to have it like Super Mario 64 or Super Mario Galaxy or Sunshine, where you go in, you get a star, and then it boots you out of the stage and you do it again, versus is it better to just have this open world area and you just find a bunch of stars in it? And I don't think they're really comparable. I think they both work for their different games. Like, the reason 64 works and Sunshine works with that and Galaxy works with that is because what happens in that world, it changes, like, based on the stars you already got. Whereas with Odyssey, the moon's like, that's not how it works. You do other shit in the world, and sometimes it gets you a moon, but like, you do shit anyway because you're exploring the world and you want to progress that, and that's just fun to explore. So like booting you back at the beginning of that, it would obviously be fucking obnoxious all the time. It's such a big place. But like in Mario 64 and Sunshine and Galaxy, that would make less sense, especially in Galaxy. Galaxy 2, it'd make no sense to do. The movement is really fucking fluid and nice. I personally believe there are too many commands on too few buttons. And what I mean by that is that there are plenty of buttons and they decided to not do it well with that and just give you like weird fucking stick movement and shit. Part of it was because they also wanted you to optionally use the Joy-Con, and I don't want to. So, yeah, we'll say, is it one of my new favorite games of all time? No. It's definitely one of my favorite games I have on Switch, but that's because I only have, like, 6 games. But I definitely put it in A tier for sure, for absolutely sure. It's just not one of my favorite games of all time or anything. But, like, it's really good. It's really fucking good. Oops, don't know how to spell sunshine, apparently. Alright. Super Mario Sunshine. Actually, I'm not gonna play this anxiety-inducing music. We're gonna do... That'll work. Super Mario Sunshine. So this was the first. This is what the Streamiversary stream is based on. Is September 22nd of 2020. It was me just playing this. A bunch of my friends backseating me and watching me and hanging out while I played Mario Sunshine. I still have not played. I played a few hours of the game after the fact, and I made a new file. Or no, I copied that file, and then I continued from like where I left off on the stream on one file and left the other one alone. I might stream it again one day, but like, eh. I definitely so far do not like it as much as 64 or Galaxy 2 or Odyssey, but I can see why other people do, and there are a lot of ideas in it that I think are neat, and I miss Nintendo taking weird fucking directions with their shit that like is already pre-established and would probably maybe sell more off the bat if it was the same old, but like I wish they would take more weird fucking risks, especially now, because like in 2001 Mario is like, you know, a household name, but like it was still like 2001 video games, right? Or whenever this came out, 2004, I guess, like around that GameCube era time period. Like now it's like, if you have a Switch, you're gonna buy the new Mario game. So they could do whatever the fuck they want, but they don't. As such, I give it a solid like B so far, but like if I gave it more of a chance, I might like it more. There are more stages that feel more bullshit than in the other games. I don't even remember what the Witcher OST fucking sounds like. I know the badass one in 3. Yeah, this be the one. I'm afraid that one will be licensed, so we're gonna play this one. I think. I'm also afraid that one will be licensed. Let's play this one instead. I don't know what this is, but there we go. The Witcher 1. This is another one of the first games I streamed. I streamed this around the time I played Dragon's Dogma. I tried to stomach it for 2 streams, and no. Fuck this game. Also fuck CD Projekt Red. So fuck them. But, yeah, fuck this game. I can see how when it came out, maybe this would be, like, a really big thing. There are aspects of it that are, like, very evolved from what was out at the time. Not the most original ideas, but, like, a culmination of a lot of things in RPGs at the time that was crazy to all add into one game. And that's fun. But literally everything I can think of, unironically, that I liked about this game, even in concept, is done way better in Witcher 3. A lot of it was just making fun of, like, the different characters and shit, but, like, and, like, having a fun time making silly choices, but, like, that only goes so far, and, like, if I wanted more silly shit like that, I'd just play Mass Effect or something. Like, it's not that big a... It's kind of like how I feel about Sonic and All-Stars Racing, in the sense that, like, is everything about this game objectively fucking terrible? No. But, like, is it playable? Yeah, it's playable, but it's obsolete. There are so many other games that do this better than it, and, like, you can say that about a lot of games, right? If you want to narrow it down, but, like, in the case of The Witcher 3 exists. So, like, why the fuck would you play The Witcher 1? Yeah. I would, by that logic, put it in D, but fuck CD Projekt Red, so I'm putting it in F. You know what? We're listening to my favorite song. If I can remember what it's called. I think it's Pioneer's Horizon. Yep. This is my favorite song in the whole fucking game. Timespinner. Timespinner is a fucking great indie Metroidvania kind of thing. It takes very, very, very heavy inspiration from games like Castlevania Symphony of the Night, but it does... A lot of the reviews and shit I saw of this game after we beat it on stream, after Satellite and I beat it on stream, like, a lot of the critique I saw for it, there were 2 main critiques I saw. One was that it had LGBTQ representation in it at all, and that it was like, one review I saw said, is it too woke for its own good, or something like that? Or is it too inclusive for its own good, I think it said. And I was like, no. And now I've gotten to the side content and realized, oh, now I see all the LGBTQ representation I was talking about. No, it's still not too inclusive for its own good. It handles that topic well. It's a little on the nose and goofy when it does it, but, like, it's not bad. By any stretch of the imagination, the way it's handled is not bad. Anyway, yeah, as a game, Timespinner's fucking great. It's a good fucking game. It's short, sweet, to the point, unless you want to get everything, and then take a little longer. And even then, like, Nightmare Mode, I think, adds to a lot of the fucking, like, oh, well, this was too easy for me kind of arguments, I'd say. There's one thing that I personally feel is kind of fucking bullshit, but I don't want to spoil it, so I'm not going to talk about it. And even then, like, it's bullshit in relativity to this game. Like, it's still fine and a decent idea, but, it's, like, one of the worst things I can think of in the game. There was one other thing I was thinking about when I was playing it the other day. That's like a critique I have that's actually valid, but I don't remember what the fuck it is now. So, oh well. Yeah, it's a very, very solid Metroidvania. For those who don't know, so I guess Timespinner isn't that big of a game. It's an indie game, obviously, but like it's not super well known even in the indie sphere. You have this ability to like freeze frame time, just like innately. Like it's not an item necessarily. It's just a thing you have through the whole game. And there are little tiny things you can do with it that are maybe not required, but advantageous. And the fact that it's not required is not like a haphazard, like they didn't think about this. It's like you can think of kinds of creative ways to do different things. More than what the beaten path seems to set out before you. And a lot of the time you're rewarded for it in one way or another. And it's really fucking cool. All the character designs are fucking neat. Has a very unique, like, character design thing. Made by, I think her name is Liz Matthews. You can follow at Deus Ex Llama on Twitter. I know for sure. Yeah, I don't know her personally, but hot damn, she's really good at art, and like character design and shit. She has like a fairly definable looking like art style, like even in pixels, like it's like, oh cool, that's yeah, she made that. Anyway, yeah, the amount of customization to like you can play how you want is really cool, and this is something they legit should have done in Kingdom Hearts 3, and they didn't. You get little spheres, and you can use 2 of them as like a primary and secondary weapon. You can use 2 of the same one, or you can use 2 completely different ones, and you can just play however the fuck you want in that regard. On top of that, most of the items you have like level with you, or not most of the items. The like equipable shit, like the spheres, they level up the more you use them. They have their own experience, and then you have your own experience points, and then your familiar has its own experience points. It's really fucking cool. You so there's also, you can get different shit later. You can get an alchemist like makes shit for you, and you can get big fucking attacks based on those spheres, which is really fucking cool. And using those also slowly but surely levels up those spheres, which is really fucking neat. Soundtrack is fucking glorious. Jeff Ball actually is the composer. Very fucking good soundtrack. Super fucking good soundtrack. Every song is good. The plot, the base plot, even without doing everything, is good. It is enriched by like expanding the lore, but the story plays out like blatantly enough to where it's satisfying, like regardless, to just play through it. I feel. All the characters are fun, except like. No, all the characters are fun. I was gonna say there's an antagonist that's like not the best, but the more I think about it, the more I'm like, eh. If you read into the shit that's in the game, by the way, and like pay attention to everything that's happening, it's actually not that bad. And this particular antagonist is still satisfying, like how they're played out in the plot anyway. So it's good. Yeah. I figured one of the ones I'd probably talk about the most is Timespinner, but that's about all I have to say about it on a surface level I can think of. Plus, like, the stream is going on for long enough. But is Timespinner one of my favorite, like, new games of all time? I'm not a big Metroidvania person. Like, I like them conceptually, but I don't play a whole lot of them. This is one of my favorite games like that, but, like, I don't know if I consider it like one of my new fucking favorites of all time, but like it's so competent and like well made and just a fun fucking time and fun to control that I would In my grumpiest mood, I don't think I would ever put it in B. Wow, last game. Oh yeah, because we talked about Undertale already. I was like, this wasn't the last game. And then I realized, oh yeah, yes it is. As long as we don't play that one song, I think Gold Leaf should be fine. Okay. Transistor. Very good game. This is a super giant game made by the creators of Bastion, Empire, and Hades. So I bought it when I bought all the games, after becoming obsessed with Hades. I definitely don't like it as much as Hades, but this is one of the smartest games I've seen in a long time. It's very cool. Lot of cool fucking ideas. Very fucking unique presentation. It all looks like hand painted and shit. It looks so fucking cool. But it's also like a digital world. But it sets up this like, cause like, it's weird. Like it's very cyberpunky ish in that regard. Well, in aesthetic anyway. But it's more dystopian than cyberpunk, I guess. But it is like science fantasy. But the characters all look like they're dressed in more like kind of like, it doesn't look like futuristic as much as it looks like old school. Like it looks like kind of 60s, I think. Maybe 50s. Probably 50s, not 60s. And everybody looks like they're dressed like go to see it like a jazz show. do a little bit of the Charleston. But yeah, Transistor's fucking great. Its presentation is really good. Its soundtrack's fucking amazing. Visuals are fucking amazing. The overall tone of the game is played very well to its advantage. It almost feels like a dream, but it has like a competent plot to a degree. I feel like the ending is kind of open-ended, and I'm not a big fan of that, but it's up to you when you play it for yourself if you think that, or if you want to not play it, because it's a bigger brain game than I can handle. But I did it. You can watch me do it on a VOD, I guess. It's only 4 parts. It's not a super long game, but like I've been saying this whole time, I like games that, like, yeah, you can clear it, but, like, if you really enjoyed that experience and just playing the game and feeling the game, there's a lot more you can do with it, and it satisfies that itch a lot. And I can say with certainty from what I have played that Transistor definitely does fucking do that. Even without like New Game Plus, it does that. Yeah, real fucking good. Very smart fucking game. And I don't mean that as like a chess kind of thing, like that you need to be that you need to be a fucking genius and be into like strategy to get the most out of this game. I mean that like there's just a lot of really good ideas that go into it, but like also strategizing is good. The way I've expressed it to people that are like, how is it, like, how does it play, is that it's a hack and slash with that. If you play it like a hack and slash, you will die. If you play like a hack and slash, there's like little to no chance of survival. You can equip decent enough attacks to like maybe do it, but like I think you might be able to pull it off in New Game Plus like after a playthrough if you're real smart and clever about it and creative with your build. Otherwise you're fucked. And it like encourages you to use what's essentially the VAT system. It's called Turn, it's not called VATs, but I call it VATs. Very fucking solid game. But not one of my new favorites. Like, the thing with it is though, is that like, although that aspect of it's really fucking cool, it's very start, stop in that regard, and that's on purpose, and it works well for what it is, but it's not something I want to play again anytime soon because of that. But that's me, that's more of personal preference than me saying that there's anything bad about that at all, which I do not believe there is. So is it one of my new favorite games of all time? No. Although as an experience, I would recommend it to people. I'd put it in A. I was thinking B, but now that I'm like here and doing this, I'll put it in A. So now we're done. How do I feel about that? I put nothing in D tier. So that's interesting. Should I put something in D tier just for the sake of putting something in D tier? I'll put this in D tier. I'm pretty confident with my F tier. Which will piss a lot of people off, but I don't care. Yeah, so Crash 2, Cortex Strikes Back, one of my absolute favorite games of all time. If you like platformers, I highly recommend Crash 2. I recommend playing it at least once, all the way through. But I also recommend completing it if you're vaguely into game design, like just on an observant level. Crash 2 is really good. Crash Bandicoot Warped, definitely another one of my favorite games of all fucking time. Hades, one of my new favorite games of all time. And every time I think I'm gonna play this, same with Crash 2, same with Crash Warped. Every time I think I'm gonna play this and I'm gonna find something else about it that I don't like as much, or like the dopamine will wear off, and it doesn't. I love all three of these games dearly. Specter of Torment, I do need to give longer settings through, but I'd still, yeah, pretty much the same. I like these three games more than this one. And then yeah, A tier, Undertale, Deltarune, Final Fantasy IX, Pokemon White, Ristar, the Wii version of Sonic Colors, Sonic Robo Blast 2 Kart, Super Mario Odyssey, Timespinner, and Transistor. If I had to recommend one game out of the A tier, probably Deltarune, honestly. But everybody's already played that, so Timespinner. Timespinner is more niche, and less people have played it. Transistor is so niche that I can't recommend it to people. Timespinner is, I can recommend it to people. Timespinner is not hard to get into. I'd say that especially if you're I'm into Metroid. I want to try Metroidvania kind of games out, but I'm scared because they seem hardcore. Because all the people I see play them are obsessed with them, and they play it on super hard difficulty or randomizers, or they speedrun it or whatever. I think Timespinner is actually a really good fucking game to get people into that without babying them. Yeah, Deltarune, but if you've already obviously probably played Deltarune, play Timespinner. B tier, Celeste, Downwell, Neo The World Ends With You until I get a bigger grasp on it one day. I want to play this game so fucking badly, but I don't want to buy it again. Resident Evil 2 Remake, Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed, Sonic Robo Blast 2, Sonic Smackdown, Sonic World, Super Mario Sunshine. If I had to recommend a game out of any of these, probably Celeste. As much as I shit talked it earlier, probably Celeste, honestly. And then these I wouldn't really highly recommend to people. Panzer Dragoon Remake I'd recommend, I guess, if you watch gameplay footage of it, and if it seems like something you maybe enjoy, I say give it a shot. But other than that, meh, whatever. Yeah, C tier, Dragon's Dogma, Mega Man 11, Panzer Dragoon Remake, Pokemon Diamond. As much as that's gonna piss a lot of people off, I don't fucking care. Remake looks pretty alright though. Still has a lot of the issues I have with the original game though. D tier, standing alone in the D tier, is Sonic All-Stars Racing, which again, not the worst game by any stretch, not the worst kart racer even, but what's the point? This game is so much better. Then yeah, F tier, Resident Evil 0, Sonic Lost World, Sonic Unleashed, and The Witcher. I feel pretty good about that. Randomrings streams, ranked 2020, 2021. With just the games, not actually the streams, though. Cool. Yeah, that looks good. I am, I'm okay with that, I believe. Let me do a thing real quick. Hold on a second. I don't want to show you the inner workings of my file explorer. Hold on. Please hold. There we go. Now you can see. There we go. Ranked all the games we streamed. Here's to more, and so much more. Sometimes I tweet like an actual fucking serial killer, and like that's fine. It's a style. Yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with that. Although the F tier is gonna fucking piss a lot of people off. Like I keep saying. God, what a good fucking soundtrack. Supergiant games always have good soundtracks, but goddamn, Transistor is so like unique. Alright, well, that was the thing we achieved. That was the thing I set out to do this stream, and I did it. Unfortunately, one problem. Tomorrow I wanted to stream Pyre really bad, but something came up. And yeah, I probably can't or I probably shouldn't avoid it. I can avoid it, but I don't know if I will. But I probably shouldn't. So I'm gonna have to deal with that tomorrow. Yeah. So that's fucking it. So tomorrow no Pyre stream, unfortunately. I know I just started that series, so it's bad to like delay part 2 within weeks in between, but I also have enough stuff that I need to do that I don't want to stream. I don't want to push it to Wednesday either. So, yeah. All right. Well, that's this stream. I hope you enjoyed it, and I like streaming. You know, it's been a good year. And I well, it hasn't been. It's been fucking shit. But streaming has been a highlight of that bad time, and I hope my streams give that levity to other people as well. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go rest my goddamn fucking voice because I need to use it tomorrow too. All right, thank you for stopping by, and YouTuber ender catchphrase. Yeah.